This is We All Be News and Radio.
Ron Hurd. Get up out of bed. Let's go. Let's go. Ron Hurd. That's the word. Get out of bed. Give me a jingle. My number 051. Get out of bed. Let's go. Don't be afraid. This is Herb Smith calling you. Herb Smith. All right, I know you're famous and all that kind of stuff, but let's go. Get out of bed.
And welcome back, family, to another wonderful edition of the Artivist Presents We All Be News and Radio. I'm your host for this empowerment segment, Brother Ron, also known as R2C2H2 the Artivist. Got a very important show. I want to thank everybody for calling, blowing up my phone, and also sending me texts and emails about last week's show. It was a very powerful show. And we have a lot of things that happened yesterday that we want to cover in this segment. So please, family, feel free to join the conversation. Call-in number is 646-652-4593. That's area code 646-652-4593. If you're scared to get on the air, we'll open up the chat room shortly. So feel free to leave your questions, comments, and concerns, and we might read it to our honorable guests. We all know who this great man is. Family, please send out an email, text to your friends and family to tune into this very important show that we're doing, because we got to go over a lot of things in a short period of time. So hopefully in the second hour, the folks who want to call in, who couldn't call in, who called in last week, who want to speak to us, Honorable Brother Gregory, we'll get y'all in the second hour. But in the first hour, we want to go over some things that are happening right now in the world today. I want to bring on the one and only Brother Dick Gregory. How you doing today, sir?
God bless you, my brother. Peace and love to you and all your listeners in an early, happy holiday. And one of the things I wanted to say to your listeners that you got the right show. Most of the stuff you hear is white folk business. When I say, I'm not talking about no ignorant Klansmen and these thugs you hear on TV. And if we stay stupid enough, long enough to believe the Ku Klux Klan and the Tea Party determine public policies, then you should never get out of bed. I'm going to hear you again. Some of the richest, powerful white men in the history of the planet live in America. And if you think they stupid enough to let the Tea Party shut the government down unless that's what they wanted, if you think they are stupid enough to let these thugs do what they claim they're doing, and that's why you have to understand how the system works, okay? Now, for one, and those of you all later can Google this to show you how it works. You have Senator John McCain, okay, from Arizona, okay? John McCain was captured in Vietnam, okay? And he was shot down and captured. His father was an admiral. His grandfather was an admiral. So he had a broken leg. Matter of fact, about a week after he shot down, I had pictures to a friend of mine of him in bed with the, you know how they put that rope on your leg to keep it up. He made a deal with the
Vietnamese.
General Giap, who wrote a brilliant book, People's War, People's Army. 35 years before we went there, his book was out, but white supremacy, we wouldn't read. Ho Chi Minh went to school in Chicago. He talked to black folks in the park, Washington Park, every week where they had a talk session. He begged America to give him the supplies and the stuff to go and take his country back. He didn't know they was on the other side. So when General Giap's book said People's War, People's Army, he said, give me an army that's willing to die, and I will destroy any army that's willing to kill. Think about that. Because that's what we did to a degree with the Civil Rights Movement. We was willing to die, not willing to kill. He said, give me an army that's willing to die. Now, he didn't talk about not killing, but Americans, they go get drafted and go to war and kiss their girlfriend on February the 2nd and said, I'll be home for your birthday in October. General Gibbon said, that's what y'all think, huh?
Mm.
And then you got to ask yourself a question. How can one, especially you people that read the Bible, huh? How can an army that don't make no bombs, don't have no big war plan, bring us to our knees? You read that in the Bible all the time. There's another force, okay? Another force. And so they killed the sinners back as drug addicts. They didn't. That's what we did, huh? And the country has never been the same since. Now, the reason I brought that up, because right next door to that, huh? Right next door to that is the Korea. Now, watch this now. Watch it close.
Right.
Because we're talking about this now. But now, before we get into that, let me tell you what happened today. And I'm sure, Brother Ron, you know the Boston bomber.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he went to court today, or did you? Have you been so busy?
Well, there's a lot of stuff going. Tell us about it, Brother Dick. A lot of us don't know.
He went to court today. His trial starts next year early.
Mm-hmm.
Now, first, let me say something to you. It's kind of strange. Okay, I want y'all to hear this real good. The bombs went off on Monday, the Boston Marathon. Now, here's what you got to ask yourself. 2 hours after the front runners come in, the bomb went off. If you are a terrorist, a terrorist, you commit terror, you blow yourself up to terrorize the world. Not to blow, in fact, you blow up, but you create such a heinous crime. The world's terrorized, huh?
Yes, sir.
We knew something big was going to happen when we started seeing Isaac chopping folks' head off. Say, oh, no. That gets attention.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Isaac, do you really, and can you be this out of it, that we got trillions of dollars worth of hardware upstairs, we don't miss nothing. We can see a gnat, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Fine. We don't miss nothing. You mean they didn't see him putting all that army together? Where are they going to train? Where they hiding? Huh? That ain't nothing but CIA. Now, you can believe what you want to be, but truth don't have to be validated by ignorance. Ask yourself a question. All the equipment he had, he said he took it from Iraq. No, we gave it to him, huh? Mm-hmm. He's us. This is a game, huh? Mm-hmm. This is us. Here's a thug little punk just cutting off everything, just ripping and running and ramping through. And so then when America decided they was going to start bombing the area, then they said, we got to send equipment over there. He gets the equipment. The equipment was for him, huh?
Mm.
And so that's what we're looking at. And then but when that started happening, you said, they're getting somebody's attention for something, huh? Mm-hmm. And so right before they threatened Sony, I'll get back to Boston.
Yes, sir.
And before Sony said, we'll blow up movies, what happened? 2 days before that, we saw a thing in Pakistan, right? Mm-hmm. We saw where they went in and killed school children. That gets your mind ready, huh? Gets your mind set for a movie blow up. Oh, I'm not going there. Before that, you hadn't even thought about that. They hadn't even announced they're going to. So I'm saying how they sit your head. So now let's go and look at the Boston Marathon. I ran the Boston Marathon 5 times, okay? Now, the front runners, the first hour, matter of fact, the first 30 minutes to an hour, the elite runners from around the world, they finished. Now, you can just wait there because you had a loved one there, but the game is over.
Right.
Okay? So why would they set the bomb to go out 2 hours after the front runner? If you're a real terrorist, huh, and you want to mess up the world, had them bombs went off at the end of the marathon, the beginning, as the winners, number 1, 2, 3, 4, it couldn't have been a marathon for the next 10 years because all the world-class marathons would have been killed or injured. Okay?
Wow.
Well, now listen to me good now. Now, if you wanted to really do a thing, you go 50 miles out where the marathon starts. Now, here's what happens. Ron, if you're going to run the marathon, you got family and friends that's coming out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got all kind of people. If you just run, I'd be there with some friends, right? But we party. We're not running, you running. So we party that night in Boston. Huh? You in bed sleep. So you get up to go to the start. We go out there to see you start. And then we drive back and, have lunch or something and be at the end to watch you come in. Out there, you got 30,000 people. Did you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All your friends, why didn't they blow it up there? Why didn't they blow it up there? Huh? And kill all them people out there? No. So you get it at the end, and you don't blow it up at the beginning. What is that about? Huh? So now they took pictures of the murder, but they never showed us the bombs going off. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. They say one was across the street on the building over there, one was over here, and then there was some people said, we heard some folks saying, this is a dry run, huh? Nobody, they saw cops and soldiers up on the building with rifles. They'd never seen this before. So people was asking, and it came over the loudspeaker, this is a dry run, huh? And so if you see cops and stuff, we having a dry run, okay? Now let's watch this now. So probably one of the weirdest things that happened, the governor, black man, right?
Yes.
Okay. His daughter called him. I saw a press lady asked him, said, Mr. Governor, when did you find out about this? He said, I found out when my daughter called me. Did you hear what I just said?
Yes, sir.
He's the governor, right? He got state troopers around him 24 hours a day, right?
Yes, sir.
They guard him. Now, when that go off, they got to double the guard because they don't know if this is a decoy to hit the governor. Okay? Listen to me good now. He said, I found out about it when my daughter called me. Did you hear what I just said?
Yes, sir.
He's the governor of the state. He got state troopers around him. It's the state troopers who got to go in there and deal with that first, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you know nobody ever called, or if you're stupid enough to believe it, the state troopers that was with him didn't know it so they could tell him his daughter, hear me, saw it on television and called him 15 minutes later and said, Dad, you know what just happened? He said, no, what? Come on, Dad. No. The terrorists just blew up the Boston Marathon. Now, that's how he found out about it. Now, if that don't leave you thinking, wait a minute, okay?
Right.
So when I heard it, I changed around, came back to the house, and called Lil in Massachusetts. I said, don't move, and call all my key folks and tell them to stand by. So now you got to listen to everything, right? And you hear people screaming, you hear people howling and all of that. So now when I called Lil, I said, call Reggie and have him keep his eye until I can get somebody in there on the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So why did I say that? Because that might have been what the decoy was about. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology do stuff that would make Hitler blush. That's how vicious they are, okay? Where your children go to school. They don't know it, huh?
Yes.
Okay, and then I said also the nuclear plant in Plymouth, Mass. Okay, call so-and-so in London. If he's not there, find out where he is and tell him, I need to find out quick, when did the nuclear plant get shut down? If the run is Monday, they don't know if that was a decoy to blow up the nuclear plant, right? Mm-hmm. So I need to know, when did they shut that nuclear plant down? Okay. Now, I got my people watching the Massachusetts Institute of Technology because one of the cops was killed there. Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. He was asleep in the car. Why was he killed? Unless there's something more to this than we know about. Why would he be killed? What are they looking for, huh? Or what do he know? Mm-hmm. Now, Lil called me and said, but stop doing whatever you're doing, because Ralph is calling in. You were right. So, hey, champ, what's going on? I said, man, we wondered when you was going to call. The nuclear plant was closed down on Saturday. The race didn't start till the following Monday. Did somebody know something? Huh? Mm-hmm. Did somebody know something? Huh? Mm-hmm. Now, hear me good now. Closed down on Saturday. Sunday, you got thousands of people in there because they're learning the course, right?
Yes, sir.
Then Monday is the race. Nuclear plant. Not nobody owns nuclear plants but the government. And nobody can give an order to shut them down but the government. Oh, wait a minute now. Oh, okay. You hear me? Mm-hmm. Now, the shooting goes on, We checked, and the guy that was in court today, him and the brother left town. They left town. And when all the shooting was going on, he was in college. If those of you check, I tried to pull my notes, but I think I put them in the warehouse. Okay. Find out when he came back on Tuesday, he went back to college. He didn't even know what had happened. Huh? He went back to college. It's a manhunt all over the world. Huh? He went back to college. And everybody called someone a wonderful person when he came back. He ain't acting like anything that happened, right? Mm-hmm. And so now, let's go back to this real easy. They didn't tell the governor. Mm-hmm. The nuclear plant was shut down on Saturday. The run was Monday. Now they got to send somebody in there so people can't just talk to the press or any of the local police. Now, that went through a lot of little towns. Mm-hmm. You know? So all at once, they sent 2 federal FBI agents there. So you couldn't, at that point, you couldn't say nothing to nobody except those 2 agents, right? Mm-hmm. So now hear this good. 2 members, this is after it was over. Those 2 that went in there that knew everything, they were killed. Yes. They were killed in Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia. Watch this. 2 members of the FBI elite terrorist unit died Friday while practicing how to quickly drop from a helicopter. They was practicing how you make a quick drop to a ship. They use rope, Mm-hmm. The FBI announced Monday in a statement. The statement gave few details regarding the death of the special agents, Christopher Bleeker and Stephen Shaw, other than to say the helicopter suspiciously difficult happened and the agents fell that distance and was killed. Now, these are the 2 that know everything, stuff that can't get out. A law enforcement source told the pilot the incident happened about 12 o'clock, about 12 natural miles off the coast of Virginia Beach. Now, just hear this now. These two agents, elite, they were the two to sit down there to run the whole thing. You couldn't give no information to nobody but them. And all at once they dead. All at once they are dead. Now, we look at the Boston. That was today. He came into court today. And his trial begins. He started picking the jury January the 5th. And so when you stop and think about it, the mother of one of the folks who the FBI killed in Miami, they went down to question him, his connection, and they said he jumped from, there was 3 of them in the house. He didn't have no gun. He had nothing.
Yes.
And he attacked them, and they shot him dead in the house before they could even ask him any questions. Now, let me put a period there for a minute. There was a huge killing in Pennsylvania 3 days ago. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
Guy killed his wife's mother. Remember that? Children. Now, did he use a gun, or do you remember?
I think he used a gun.
Okay, he did. He used a gun. The reason I asked that, they found him committed suicide with a knife. He killed away first. Do you know how hard it is to commit suicide with a knife? Well, look.
Torture, yeah.
You got what?
It got to be a torture to try to do that. You got to be agonized.
I can't hear you. No, slow up. I can't hear you.
It got to be torture to try to do that. You got to be agonized.
Well, first, no. When you hit it, you will automatically drop the knife. That's universal law, huh? You would automatically drop the knife. Hey, man, if somebody put hot charcoal on fire in your hand, you're going to throw it off. You ain't got no control over that, huh?
Yes.
You hear me? It's like when King was shot. He's laying on the ground. There's 5 people pointing up. The question is, how do they know it wasn't going to be another shot?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how come they didn't do the natural thing that when you hear a shot, you fall? Okay? So I'm saying when we stop, we can't because we've been trained. And so, again, I'm saying, so here, this brother, this guy, runs at the 3 FBI agents. And he has no gun. They said, he drew a knife. 3 of y'all? And so when you start putting the other pieces together, then you start seeing things that don't make sense, okay? And so I brought that up because that just happened today. The whole trial, that's in the midst of all this other stuff. Now, let's go to the fact that Cuba. Now, Guantanamo Bay, okay? Guantanamo Bay. If you do the research, you find out that's in Cuba, and America have been leasing that from them. U.S. have been leasing the 45 square miles that the base sits on since 1903. Now, they leased that from 1903. Guantanamo Bay, we still leasing it. I thought that was our enemy. And why would you want to put one of the most secret naval bases in the history of America on enemy territory? Huh? So then you got to say, who is Castro? What is this about? Now, hear me good now. We've been leasing that since 1903, and all these ignorant white boys in Congress, they don't know it's 2 governments. They sitting there mad at the president, on the system, the coast of Guantanamo Bay, okay? The U.S. has been leasing it, since 1903. The base shares a 17-mile border with Cuba. Hmm?
Mm.
The U.S. pays the Cuban government approximately $4,985,000 a year for the lease. Did you hear me?
I hear you. Wow.
And they sitting here talking about, we can't do business with them thugs. $4 million a year. And 98% of the people work there are Cubans. So what kind of secrets you got that you don't mind your enemy working there, huh?
Wow.
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
The U.S. have been leasing 45 square miles the base sits on since 1903. The base shares a 17-mile border with Cuba. The U.S. pays Cuban government approximately $4,985,000 a year for the lease. The last time Cuba accepted payment, okay?
Yeah.
but they got it all, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the lease can only be terminated by mutual agreement. Wait a minute now. Castro can't terminate it unless you want to fight our guns. Okay? Now, Guantanamo Bay, right?
Yes.
The lease cannot be terminated except by mutual agreement. Approximately 6,000 service members, civilian, and contract workers are at the base. Huh? You got a big operation going. You tell them this is our enemy, and here's a man that don't treat the people right, human rights, and we got to deal with him. And now Americans can't complain about what we do to them captives because it's not on American soil. See how it works?
Yes, sir.
And so this is all these chumps is arguing, today about, this is a killer. How can we do? Well, please. Castro's tourist business, tourist business, you got that? Is about $6 billion a year.
Wow.
Wait a minute. Where? Yeah. White folks from Europe come in, huh? And where'd you get the planes? Well, for years, over 20, 30 years, he's been leasing United Airlines. Did you hear me? 747s in the wintertime. And we ain't supposed to be dealing with them? Okay. So when we look at the 9/11 attack, September 11 attack in 2001, and look at the military operation in Afghanistan, detention facilities at Guantanamo was refurbished to hold the detainees from the war on terrorism. Wow. And who started it? It was George Bush. George Bush. And so when you look at the inauguration, President Obama signed an exclusive order to close the detention facilities within 1 year. However, the facilities are still open. Somebody must have told me, Mr. President, you just got in, but let me show you this document here. We can't close it. And as of December 2014, is that this year?
Yes, sir.
There were 136 detainees still there. And so when you stop and think about, the timeline, the Republic of Cuba leased 44 miles of land, Guantanamo base, to the U.S., okay? for a naval station. Building the Navy station began the same year, okay? In 1934, Cuba and the United States signed the agreement to rent the 44 square miles to the U.S. for $4 million of our dollars. 1991, approximately 34,000 Haitian refugees and detainees of the base after they fled the coup in Haiti. We don't know nothing about this, but this is America, owns this. Can't nobody go there without. In 1994 to 1995, more than 50,000 Cubans and Haitians occupied the base at Guantanamo. January the 11th, 2002, the first detainees from Afghanistan and Pakistan arrived. Come on now. June 28th, 2004, a divided Supreme Court ruled that Guantanamo detainees have some rights, but left it open for those rights will be exercised. Okay, hear me. And so it goes on and on and on. So all of these thugs and fools on TV now, the pundits, are saying, wait a minute, wait. And nobody mentions this blank check we have with Cuba.
Right.
Now we'll skip to JFK, 1963. The nuclear missile crisis.
Was that 62 or 63?
62.
Okay.
And the Russians said, y'all better get those nuclear missiles off of there. That's what the Russians said. Okay. They had nuclear missiles in Cuba aimed at Russia. So then they made the heavy drama in the sea and all of that. And what happened? Here's what really went down. Poland had American missiles, hear me, mounted, aimed at Russia. The nuclear missiles in Cuba was aimed at us. So they held all that drama. They had made a deal long before all that crap. That Poland, you move your missiles, nuclear missiles from Poland, we'll move ours there. And they had the whole world believing it could be the beginning of World War III. That's how the stuff works, okay?
Yes, sir.
And so some kind of way, when you look at what they're telling us, and you think the New York Times, I know this, New York Times don't know it? You think I know this and the Washington Post don't know it? You think certain members of Congress don't know them two elite FBI agents that had the whole investigation was killed in the accident? Do you really believe that? And so, again, this is today's news, and nobody seems to know anything about it other than this man's a devil. This man, can you believe all the stuff that he's doing against humanity? Look how he treats his own people. Well, do you know Egypt for the last 30 years get 1 point, Egypt's army get $1.5 billion from the United States government. The Army, not Egypt, not the folks that's hungry.
Yes, sir.
And that's who overthrows. Anytime somebody come in, we overthrow them. They dictate to us, huh? They dictate to us. And so, consequently, what we're looking at, okay, is a game, and, it's too late now. And so now we look at the big thing that just happened. And let's look at the stuff of Cuba, Sony,
yes,
the bloggers.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, they told us the bloggers have blogged into the Pentagon, State Department, FBI, CIA. So why do they think some little punks like Sony? Now let's look at Sony. Now Sony is a Japanese company. Right down the road is North Korea. That's a family thing. Okay, so now let's go back to the Korean War and the 38th parallel. Are you aware, this is unfair, are you aware that the Korean War was never over? Did you know that?
Yes, sir.
They signed a truce. And they split it, the 38th parallel. Well, now, let me tell you something. You're going to have to look this up.
Okay.
North Korea. Now, there's a South Korea. That's where we are. The North Korea is one of the richest countries in the world. That catch you by surprise.
Yeah, you go by the media, they don't portray it as a rich country.
They talk about they starving children. Have you ever seen a starving child on worldwide TV other than in Africa?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when who was it? It was Jay-Z and his wife. Help me.
You about Dennis Rodman for North Korea, though.
No. Come on now. Jay-Z and his wife, what's her name?
Beyonce.
They went to Cuba.
Right.
You remember?
I remember that.
They was probably taking instructions that they didn't want picked up through the wire. Dennis Rodman was probably taking instructions,
Right.
Now, one of the biggest rice sales of American rice goes to North Korea.
Wow.
Now, let's take it slow now. Tungsten, 98% of it is grown in Vietnam. Not North Vietnam, in Vietnam. It was never no need for it. Just like if they discovered tomorrow nappy hair caused cancer, the hottest thing being sold in the black community would be Kink Quick, okay?
Right.
Kink Quick, right?
Good.
And every white neighborhood would want black folks living there so they can be close to the cancer cure, right? But there's no need for nappy hair. Okay? Tungsten is the same thing. Tungsten for millions of years. Tungsten didn't just get here. For millions of years, tungsten was used to mix in chemicals, steel and metals, to make it go through freezing temperature changes, Right. Who needed it? The only thing America worried about, in the wintertime it get cold, sometimes the railroad tracks would pop. But then all at once, we get ready for the missile race, We get ready to outer space. Don't it go through hot, cold, re-entry?
Right.
Now the number one product in the history of the planet is tungsten. Who has it? Korea. Now, Korea wasn't North Korea and South Korea. Korea was one country. And one day, when the people got to looking at what they had, then the elite people, took over, and the people of the country wouldn't benefit. So then they had a war. The rebels broke off and started fighting, who's going to get the tungsten? Well, whoever gets the tungsten, nobody else can be in the missile race, and you cannot have a radar. All of that falls under that all at once. So now the war starts, right?
Right.
America came through the north and attacked the south, but they got in for a big surprise. They bumped into the Chinese and the Russian army. Okay, you know why? Because if America gets it all, they got to get out the space race. They got to get out of very strategic things. Okay,
Right.
so that's why we lost the war. Except we came to a truce. We'll split the country by the 38th parallel. That just happens to split the tungsten mines in half. Hello. That just happens to split the tungsten mines in half. Okay? That's why we have 500,000 soldiers over there guarding it. The Chinese is at their mercy. Now, you pick up stuff now where they tell you the Chinese have most of the Chinese ain't got nothing. And so that's how do you think that little old peon country can come up with a nuclear bomb? If they're so hungry. And say, oh, they don't feed their people. They spend all that money making. They didn't say they didn't have one, right? This whole country gonna make them out like idiots, right?
Right.
Okay. And they got a nuclear weapon. They fired it several times, testing it, right? And so now we go back to the Chinese probably did the hacking, or brought them to China and let them do it, right?
Right.
Now the president said something interesting today. He said, we talking about we got doubt because we got scientists that told us, it probably wasn't the North Koreans. Oh, everybody else is speculating it could be. No, of course you're not going to blame it on China. You're not going to blame it on China. And so consequently, when you sit and look at this and feel it. Now, here's Putin. Y'all need to write this down and check it because this is too devastating to take somebody's word for it, okay? Right after the World Cup.
Okay.
In July. On July the 16th, Putin was over there in at the World Cup. So he held a press conference in Brazil. And he announced that Russia is writing off 90% of Cuban's debt. Okay? Ahead of Putin's big tour of South America. Okay? Now, what was the debt? 90%, right? He rolled off, right? That means so he didn't write off all, right?
Right, he didn't write off.
So how much was 90% of the debt he wrote off? $32 billion.
Wow.
Russia has written down $32 billion of Cuban Soviet-era debt. Okay? So now the Cubans now is required to pay back $3.2 billion over the next 10 years. Now, the whole thing changes now, right?
Right.
Okay. The first payment from Cuba is expected in October, and the money will be transferred on an account of the Russian leaders' banks, open the National Bank of Cuba. Okay? Now, listen to this now. Then, on the 17th, that morning, he announced that the Russians was putting over $100 billion a kitty for South Africa, India, China, and 2 other South American countries. Y'all can look that up.
Mm-hmm.
And that would equal the World Bank. He said we'll no longer have to go to these thugs with our hat in our hand.
Right.
And then he went on to say there's one country in Europe has 30 million people, but in the World Bank they have a larger vote than China, who has a couple of billion.
Oh,
and he says, so y'all can go to hell. Now let me tell you what's happening now. All of this is going on.
Mm-hmm.
All of this is going on. Okay?
Yeah.
And so all at once now, America have to come out and make like, oh, we're going to forget this here. We're going to let these folk come back home. And the first day, they never told us that it was 2 people coming, that spy.
Right.
That spy, huh?
They stuck that in there.
Yeah.
They did. I didn't know about that spy until like late last night.
Yeah.
I started looking at it.
No, let's watch this now. Let's run to Korea, right?
Right. Yes, sir.
Now you remember the last American they let out of there?
Yes, sir. It was a guy from Texas, I believe, a Mexican American. Okay.
Now listen to this now. Do you know who they told America to send and get him?
Yeah, the U.S. Intelligence Director, James.
Director up. Look, wait a minute. You remember his name?
I think it's James Cap. I'm looking it up right now, but it was the U.S. Intelligence Director.
Director. Now look at that. Here's this little punk that we say starving, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Don't know nothing, and said we're gonna let this American go, but you're gonna have to send, huh? Head of the U.S. intelligence agent, huh?
James Clapper.
James Clapper to pick him up. That's when they signed the papers, huh?
That's strange.
For what you seeing now. That's when they signed the papers. For what you seeing now, huh?
That's crazy.
So now, no, it ain't crazy. That's white folk business, huh?
Yeah. I mean, you said it's white folks' business, but it's like there's a lot of stuff to take in.
But wait a minute. You said it's crazy. New York Times didn't say it's crazy. Huh?
That's true.
You just get covered from all that's called white supremacy.
Yes, sir.
To pick up a spy, okay, that said he just walked across the border accidentally. Okay, y'all. Now that's why this where this thing is going, huh?
Wow.
And so all of that's going down. Then all at once you got the movie industry, huh?
Right.
That could be out of business. See, America start talking about freedom of speech and freedom of this. Until a cop gunned down an unarmed black person or a Chicano, and you don't have no freedom of speech. You don't have nothing to talk about. Huh? Get out of here. Okay? So that's what we're looking at, and that's what I wanted to share with you before we go into the other stuff.
Greg, I want to ask you this too, man. I know we touched on it before. I want to know what was the Hugo Chavez thing, because he was being treated in Cuba. Was that part of the deal too?
Wait. Chavez, huh?
Right. He was being treated for cancer in Cuba.
Wait. No, we got to tell my grandmother who it was.
Oh, Hugo Chavez was the president of Venezuela.
Venezuela, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he had oil. He had
a lot of
oil. So we get it here now. It still comes in.
Right.
And so Castro had cancer and cured it, right?
Right.
So why wouldn't his friend go there? Because his friend don't know Castro works for us. His friend went there and didn't get cured.
Wow.
His friend went there. Now there's people out there saying, no, Castro's a good guy. Castro's good. He sent soldiers to Africa. That was for us.
Right.
That was so they couldn't deal with the Chinese. Huh? You see, here's what happened. White folks send you their country to China to build a railroad. They sit and sip June, what they call it, that little drink with gin and...
ginseng, or that,
Huh?
Ginseng or something like that?
Yeah, they sip that while the black folk do the work. Hmm? Mm-hmm. And then so when they get through, the black folk know how to build a railroad. Trying to go to Africa and build your railroad, they let you sit and sip mint juleps while they build a railroad, and when they leave, you don't know how to build a railroad, so you have to keep calling them back. Hmm?
I like that.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so all at once now, Cuba is about, and you have to look this up and let your readers know, your listeners know, Cuba is about 79% real dark black folk.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's not one in the cabinet.
That's right.
It's not one in the cabinet. There's not one in government. Huh?
That's crazy.
So when I asked them, I said, well, how come the dark ones, oh, they don't want to come? I said, well, look like dark Jamaicans, huh? Trinidad don't have no trouble coming. Y'all not that far from there. Yeah, them black folks think that much different? Huh?
That's the same thing in Brazil in terms of like the color, color issue. In like Brazil, you don't have to see any, dark-skinned Brazilians out there being paraded and promoted.
There's none. Can't parade. You can go out there and be an athlete like Charles Barkley. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
That's all we need, y'all. But when I look at football, I see slavery all over again. Black folks on the field carrying the ball that look like a football, but it's really cotton. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And white folks sitting on the bench with the clipboard trying to look intelligent. Huh? I asked the Muslim a friend of mine, I said, you know how many Muslims play in the NFL? And he told me, I said, well, how is this thing that Muslims don't like pigs, they're evil, they don't but the football is pigskin?
That's a great question.
Who waived that? Now, watch this now. So now, Castro, black folk go over there and go to medical school.
Right.
Yep. But while you stand over there, what you do you know they got mind control? Not them, us. Do you know that? Okay. And for the next time I come on the show, you can do it now if you have time. The CIA in the late, punch it up. You got your computer there?
Yes, sir.
The CIA in the late 50s, you know how long ago that was?
A long time ago, over 50 years ago.
Went to France, went to Paris, and there's a village outside of Paris where they dropped, people over there eat bread. They get up in the morning and go get their bread, like alcohol, go get alcohol. So they went where the wheat is delivered, right?
Right.
And slipped somebody in there to work, and they put LSD in the wheat that you make bread.
Right.
And when they ate the bread, they were thinking about they were birds and they were airplanes, and they got to flying and jumping off of mountains, killing themselves. Did that come up yet?
Yes, French bread spiked with LSD.
Wait, hold. Read it to your audience. They say the year and the date.
Well, I'm looking at it now. There's a couple of different things. I'm looking at the Telegraph from the UK, and it says French bread spiked with LSD in CIA experiment.
Now, wait a minute. Hold. Y'all listening. That happened in 50. Yep. Okay, 1950. Those was white folks. They went over there and spiked the bread. Go ahead. And what happened to them?
And let's see, it said, like you said, they spiked the bread with LSD as part of an experiment. Let's see. I believe it said 1951, so. Yeah,
but what they said, they started believing, when they ate it, they started believing there was airplanes and birds. That's why they did
it. On August 16th, 1951, the inhabitants were suddenly racked with frightful hallucinations of terrifying beasts and fire. One man tried to drown himself, screaming that his belly was being eaten by snakes. An 11-year-old tried to strangle his grandmother.
Okay, wait, hold. 11-year-old tried to do what?
Strangle his grandmother.
Okay. Now, when did the CIA develop that?
In the 50s, in 51.
Okay, so what year is the last 10 years, right? But what? 21.
20, you thought excuse me, the last 10 years?
Yeah.
So, right now?
Yeah, the last 10 years up to now.
Oh, 2001.
Okay, and you can go back before that. Now you see what the drive-by shootings are about. Huh? If they had that back then, what do you think they putting in our water and our soda pops coming into our areas, huh? And it only worked for men. Why do you think women ain't part of that team? Just look, if you and I got a team of black folks, so thuggish and sinful, we just go through the black community killing black folks we don't even know, right?
Right.
How come they're not shooting women? What kind of integrity they got? I'll shoot the men. Because men's organs sell 100 times more than women's organs, okay?
Wow.
Now we go back again. What did they say? They said the one guy tried to kill his who?
His grandmother, 11-year-old.
Now, is there much different than trying to kill your grandmother of killing a black person? Huh? And that's why I listen to these talk shows and they talk about you're not qualified because you don't know how evil this devil is. Okay? All right? Now read that again. Okay?
Yeah, I want to read that. It's a couple of things. I mean, like everything you saying is basically verified. Like it said, another man shouted, "I am a plane," before jumping out of a second-floor window.
You hear me? No, wait. Look, read it out. We don't need the whole thing.
Right.
I just want to show you who this dog is, okay? Way back then, but they got y'all believing the black-on-black crime is black folks, huh?
Right.
Okay? Well, 1951, they developed that. Do you know they have stuff, the CIA in this country, they can go to a football game with 100,000 people and drop it there, and people will turn into cannibals, huh?
Yes.
Did you hear me?
Yep.
They got some other stuff they can go to a game and drop it, and you turn into a lesbian or homosexual. That's where they are, and they get by with it because y'all listen to this and think I'm the fool and they the good folks. I would never, ever, ever, ever lie to you for no reason at all. But they worried about me.
Right.
They worried about you. You ain't gonna listen to it. You gonna believe it. And so now let me follow this down. Now, this is outrageous for me to do this to you, but in Boston, 1920 to 1929.
Okay.
The United States government, Bureau of Health, hooked up with Kellogg's, right? What they call that stuff we used to like from Kellogg's?
Cornflakes.
Cornflakes, yeah.
Right.
Now pick that. They have a mental hospital there for rich folks, like the Kennedy, one of his daughters, you know.
Right.
And they tried to, give him lobotomy and all that.
Right.
But the super rich went there, huh?
Yes, sir.
Because they're going to be there for the rest of their life. One guy built for his daughter the same type of $100 million house him and the family had there on that. They made a movie out of it. Huh? What year did I say that was?
1920 through 1929.
Okay, did you punch that up yet?
Yeah, I punched it up.
Did you see what they was flying, had birds dropping stuff in there, into their food? What did it say?
Well, I just typed in like the Boston 1920 through 29 U.S. Bureau of Health and Kellogg's memo.
Yeah.
And one of the first things pop up was Calvin Coolidge, the president.
Yep.
Okay.
And this is for you white folks that think this is only going to happen to us. They've been getting you. Go ahead, listen to it.
Okay, I'm going to get into this. It's fascinating, man. I could scale through it. It's talking about a pack from 1928 with Kellogg's. I can find it.
And so I want y'all to hear this. Especially you God folks. There is a God, but you ain't in tune to it. People in tune to it know who this heathen is, huh? They know who this dog is, huh? Okay? Anything come up yet? Because I got another one to run past you.
Yeah, I'm typing up now. The Kellogg brand pack of 1928. That one came up. I'm just following up, trying to find something. Okay, I'm reading now. The Kellogg Bryant pack. Let's see. Oh, it's something else. It's something about war.
No, you see it. It's there. It's there.
Okay, the Kellogg Bryant pack, or Pact of Paris, officially General Treaty for Renunciation of War as an Instrument of National Policy, was a 1928 international agreement in which signatory states promised not to use war to resolve disputes or conflicts of whatever nature or of whatever origin they may be, which may arise among them. Parties failing to abide by this promise should be denied of the benefits furnished by this treaty. It was signed by Germany, France, and the United States on August 27, 1928.
No, wait a minute. Germany, right? German warfare,
right.
all the crap they was doing. The Indians told you they speak with bark tongue. Go ahead. Let me see if you got the right one. Now, go ahead.
August 27, 1928, and by most other nations soon after, sponsored by France and the U.S., the pact renounced the use of war and called for the peaceful settlement of disputes. Similar provisions were incorporated into the UN Charter and other treaties, and it became a stepping stone to a more activist American policy. It is named after its author, United States Secretary of State Frank B. Kellogg, and French Foreign Minister Aristide Briand.
Go ahead.
Okay. After negotiations, the pact was signed in Paris at the French Foreign Ministry.
No. Let's skip that. Find the one where they was actually flying the poison by pigeons to drop over there at that school. Okay, now these are rich white folks, right? And we're talking about back then. So what do you think? Now, you try to tell somebody that the chemtrails, right? And I can understand it. My mother hear me talking, she call the police. Chemtrails, huh? They drop lead and manganese. Y'all see them big old white things up there in the sky? I've been on one of the planes. You think you was at Harvard or Yale's chemical division. They got all them, and they mix it right on the plane. They aim it into the black community. And once you get lead and manganese, it will make you kill your mama. What they say that boy did over there?
Try to strangle his grandmother.
Okay, see, now it's hard for y'all to believe that because y'all don't know what kind of maniac you got, but they told you in the movies, huh? They told you in the movies, huh?
Wow.
See, I knew another little boy. Abraham Lincoln's daddy was a Negro. And then almost these young whites is coming. Did you see the last Abraham Lincoln movie that just came out?
Yes, sir.
Don't you know it starts off where he's talking about his nappy, kinky hair?
Right.
That's what this is about. That's what this is about. Did you see the? I'm talking now while you can look for that. So.
Right.
Did you see the movie The Wizard of Oz?
Yes, sir.
That was about the Kansas City Federal Reserve. Did you see King Kong?
Yes, sir.
That was about the greatest fighter in the history of the planet. Jack Johnson, the black man, when they didn't have gloves, they would go 75 rounds.
Right.
And they got so aggravated by him and his white women. That's what the movie is about. This gorilla and this white lady on the Empire State Building, right? Why they have it in New York, Madison Square Garden? That's the boxing capital of the world. See, if you don't go through them systems that they do.
Wow.
So did that ever come up yet?
I'm trying to wish to cut out time how long it took.
Well,
I'm trying to see it.
Well,
I'm sorry.
They talk about Kellogg's and the breakfast food and how they took pigeons, and dropped it over the yard, it's so deep, man. So we'll keep talking, but kind of
gotta look for it.
Yeah, have somebody look for it, and then we can. Now let's go to Sony.
Right, you read. You reading my mind tonight. Okay, yeah.
No, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody say they're not going to the movie, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. You got a whole lot of people don't even know this is going on. Where did black folks read it? Where did they see it? And in Christmas morning, hey, let's go to the movie. They might blow up any movie,
Right.
So they can tell you about these animals, These animals, They never talked about the Ku Klux Klan lynching and castrating black men and cutting our heads off and our organs. They never called them animals, They never called Hitler an animal, Okay. All right.
Yes, sir.
And so now we look at what's fixing to happen. They could blow up 30 movies in 30 cities. And everybody would buy into that's these animals, But they can't mess with North Korea because the Chinese,
Right.
And the Russians done put stuff up. So now I told you that Putin have created this bank for those folks in South America, right?
Right.
With the money, right? Okay. That was on July the 16th. I think on the 17th when he flew back to Russia.
Right.
And they had him going the same route that they shut down the Malaysian airplane. And when he found that out, his plane was 15 minutes late. And when he found that out, he went back to Russia and killed everybody that had something to do with it. And probably some that didn't have nothing to do with it. So why am I talking about him like all of them are dogs, Right. All of them are dogs, That's what I'm talking about it like this here. They all dogs. Pan Am flight, what was that Pan Am flight? The one over Lockerbie?
Right, it was A.L.L or something like, was they bringing Libya for that?
No. It was coming back to America with all them college students on it.
Okay.
It left, what's the Pan Am 103?
Okay.
What they don't tell you, there was 8 federal agents on that plane that had been subpoenaed by a federal judge to come back and stand trial about the drug smuggling. And one of the mothers of the children lived in Akron, Youngstown, Ohio. And they had an article with a picture in the paper about her son was on that plane. Now, if I don't tell you, New York Times not going to tell you,
Right.
That's what this was about. They killed all them folks to kill those 8 agents that a federal judge said to come back here.
Wow.
What's the little Congress lady's name that was shot in the head?
Gifford, I think. Congressman Gifford.
Gifford, right? Now, didn't they say a federal judge had been shot?
Right.
Killed?
Right.
You know who he was? He was the one handling Fast and the Fury. He was the one. Case closed. Until October the 1st, the federal judge here, when he ordered the Attorney General.
Earl Holder.
Earl Holder had nothing to do with Fast and Furious. That was under Bush, right?
Right.
But if you're the president, you got to bring him in. And the good federal judge said, you better bring it in by October the 22nd, and y'all not going to do to me what you did to the other judge. Oh.
That judge was Federal District Court Chief Judge John Roll, the one who got killed.
Yeah. And the other one that gave up that order, he's here. You can pull up his name too. I think it starts with a B.
Okay.
Or something. And so that's what's going on in your America. You see anything come up with the federal judge?
Well, I'm typing it right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is fascinating stuff, man. Wow.
I had a guy in, I think I was at a conference in Budapest, and sometimes your tongue slips. Dick, how come you think we haven't been able to kill you? I said, sure, you can kill your mama before you could kill me. There are some black folks you can mess with, and there's some you can't mess with, and I'm one of the ones you can't mess with. I'm an Uncle Tom. See, these white folks have taught black folks that Uncle Tom is something negative. A tomboy is a tough girl. A tomcat is a tough cat. But when it comes my turn, it gets weak. No. And when Napoleon, who had the mightiest army that ever existed at the time, Napoleon, right?
Yes, sir.
When they went over there to Haiti, and they didn't even make matches in Haiti, and beat that army down to the ground. And then Napoleon tried to do what black folk want to do. Let me find out what it is. And the real white folk in France say, you don't know what this is. Get out of here. And when the scientists come back, they met with Napoleon and said, what did you find? And he said, voodoo. Voodoo. Now, when you think of voodoo, what do you think of?
Witchcraft. Yeah, witchcraft, sorcery. Yeah.
Voodoo is a French word. It means spiritual Adam. You can't see neither one of them. That's what an Uncle Tom is.
I found the judge name as U.S. District Judge Amy Berman Jackson.
Yeah. That's the one. And did it say what he ordered? He said October 1st deadline for producing the list to the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee. So October 1st of this year. Okay. Now, you see that? October 1st this year.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all of that's going on, and we don't know anything about it. We're not supposed to know anything about it, but there's a lot of people out here with their spiritual they can tune in, and they'll know about it. But nothing never came up on the Kellogg's, right?
I think that the Kellogg I got was a scientist at Indiana University experiment with apes and children. That's the one that came up.
Okay.
I try to look for Kellogg. There's a couple of Kellogg's. I didn't know there'd be people famous named Kellogg. But
no, this is the one that talks about them putting that stuff in them rich white folks, mentally retarded children's food.
Okay.
Huh? And I want you to see that, because when they spraying that stuff in the black community, lead and manganese, it just ain't black folks.
That's it.
Okay, well, it'll come up. We'll keep talking now. Let's look at.
I want to ask you right quick, because we talked about Cuba. I want to ask you this question that black folks have been pondering, that I know I've been pondering since yesterday. What is the fate of Ashada Shakur in Cuba, if she's in Cuba?
If she's in Cuba, if she's alive.
Right. Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that, actually. Yes, sir.
Do you think they'll negotiate something this big? You think they'll negotiate? They'll probably send her body back.
Oh, wow.
But as long as she's been there, what do you think is done to her mind? Huh? He'll probably come back and say, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I did everything this year. I'm sorry. This is mind control. You read or saw the movie The Manchurian Candidate, didn't you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm like, this is the same thing. The same thing. And so now, let's, anything else happened lately?
Oh, well, something that I wanted to talk about last week that you want to give, like, the right amount of time. Yeah. What's going on with your friend Bill Cosby? I know Camille came out with a statement, Dr. Camille Cosby came out with a statement defending him on Monday. I just want to get your take. I mean, he thinks very highly of you. I mean, I remember when he was on our Senior Hall show, he spoke very highly of you, as well as in your documentary on TV One.
Yeah.
So I know y'all good friends and stuff like that. He respects you dearly. So, I mean, I just want to know what your take is as the father of 7 daughters.
7 daughters.
How you feel about this right now?
Well, first, let me tell you real quick what happened to me.
Yes, sir.
I get a letter, and this is not dealing with him. I get a letter, 2 things, that tell me I'm in San Francisco. The letter comes from New York, and so I just want you to know you're the father of my child, and you need to get in touch with me. I threw the letter away. Tell me this? So then, 6 months later, I'm in New York working in a nightclub, and on Saturday morning, I knock on the door, 2 New York cops. 2 New York cops. Hey, Gregory, yes, get your hat and coat to go down to precinct. I said, for what? I don't know. So I go downstairs, and I start thinking it was funny when they put me on the subway. And so we get to the station, and they read this stuff out about this woman said, I'm the father of her child. I want y'all to hear this good now. So I called my managers, and I told them I was in jail. So they came down and bailed me out and brought the lawyer. Now, at the end of the whole thing, I paid the lawyer like $800,000. And so he asked me that day, it's very important, is she white or black? I said, I have no, I don't know her. Okay. Now they go and when you're dealing with big money, boy, it's hard to beat because this company is so big, they didn't know nothing about black detectives. I mean, you know, the ones that work undercover.
Right.
They didn't know how to get none. So they told me what we're going to do is get hold to a black guy, and he's going to get one for us, and he'll work through us, which means whatever he get goes to them. I pay both of them, right?
Right.
So one day I got to go in every weekend to listen to what they found. I want you to hear this good, man.
Yes, sir. So
he said, she said the guy we hired, he's living with her now. You know, to going to you, and I get the bill. That's why you cannot mess with big money. And then she said something on one of the tapes that this cop in the such and such a district, right? He's the one she works through. So now my white lawyer comes to me with his precious self, and he says, Dick, I got something that just pains me. I was told by the undercover black detective that we hired, not city. These are the ones that white folk get to spy on their wife and shit.
Right.
He was saying that she mentioned this captain at such and such a place. Said if we showed this to him, he'd kill her. So I said, well, let me tell you something. I don't give a damn about her being killed or not. I give a damn about her being a black woman. And when you got this case, you asked me was she white or black, and I said I didn't know. But I really believe if I'd have told you she was white, I don't believe you were giving me this option, so let's proceed. That's Dick Gregory. I don't care who knows about that. That's me.
Right.
All right? So now the trial, we're going through it. And now the trial's getting ready to start. Now let me tell you something which is interesting. One day we'll pull the files up and do the whole thing on the show.
Yes, sir.
In the state of New York, right, you can't win one of these cases. You know why?
Why?
Because if the judge rules against her, she can't say another person the father. That's double jeopardy. Self-incrimination, right?
Right.
So the New York State is not going to take a baby. So they showed me stuff where this rich white dude, man, was born with no penis or testicles. So the woman said they gave him the baby. Okay? A guy was in World War II, crawled up over Hananade and blew all of them parts away. They gave him the baby. You know why? Because if the New York State said, I'm not the father, and they can't blame nobody, the New York State got to take care of this child, and we ain't talking about welfare. That's why nobody ever wanted. I said, well, maybe I have to go to jail or whatever y'all do. But I'm not saying. So then we started finding out to do all of them like that. They got the mob ran it. They had a mob where they did nothing with white celebrities. They got one that do nothing with black celebrities, from Frank Sinatra to Sammy Davis, and they pay out of court. They pay, man. So now we getting ready to go to court. And the New York Post comes out the day before. Dick Gregory's trial starts tomorrow. $300 and something $1,000 paternity. Now that hits. Right? Mm-hmm. And so they have no idea I was going. Huh? Nobody do this, right? Mm-hmm. So I go, and the trial starts, and now they got to, and they are something, man. They got to have the woman and got to have a friend of hers that was with me on such and such a night, and my writer, Jim Sanders. Well, he took us back to the hotel, and we had champagne and da-da-da-da-da. Now, the witness had to leave early, so she ain't in no slut bag. So she said, well, I was in Jim Sanders' suite, and I left, and I came by to knock on the door to say goodbye to my friend. And so I went home because I had to get my children ready for school. And so I woke up at 7 o'clock. Listen to this now, when the God Force moves in. And this not happened, y'all wouldn't have heard of Dick Gregory, because I'd have been somewhere for the rest of my life. Not paying this, none of this, huh? You know, she said, so now he's interviewing her. This probably won't tell you what's happened with the Cosby thing.
Right.
If he did it or not, I don't know. That's a police job, huh?
Right.
I'm looking at what they're telling me. Now, watch this now. So he's cross-examining the friend of hers that first they've established that I was there, who told him, her best friend. Her best friend left at 4 o'clock. How does she know she was there? And here's the God. She said, so I called Mary, whatever her name is, so-and-so. And I told her I was getting my children ready for school and I'd see her later today. I touched my lawyer, and I said, did you just hear that? He didn't. You cannot call a person who's registered in a hotel and ask for another name, and they ring the room. See how that universal God force work?
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. Yes.
Then, when he got up there, man, I realized why I had to pay him so much money. He said, first, so-and-so, I want to apologize to you, because I guess I got that prejudice in me and didn't know it. I just saw you as a trampy Negro slut. But right behind you is the American flag, and the longer I looked at that flag, and the longer I thought about justice, I said, I got to get it up. So I want to apologize to you for that, and please forgive me. And so now he gets into her testimony. It takes him about an hour and a half because he keeps going around, and said, now, when you called her, how'd you know what hotel? Oh, so I had the phone number. Okay. You sure it was the Beverly Hills Hotel? I'm positive. I didn't have a number. And at what time did you call? And you asked for who? I asked for Betty or whatever her name was. She came to the phone, yes. And he took her around, and then he said to her, are you aware that you cannot call I could not call your name that's registered for you and ask for Jim Jones. Huh? It's impossible. And some kind of way she went off. She cussed she called, she MF'd everybody. And I know you just take this big money and go mess with two black sisters like y'all doing. And the judge stopped the trial. Said, case dismissed. History. I'm the only person in the history of New York that beat one of them cases. So now the baby is ward of the state, not welfare, everything. So now to show you how this thing works. So one day, I'm speaking in New York. Now my oldest son died, okay? So I had 11 children.
Right.
So some kind of way I slipped, because I normally say 10. I said I had 11 children, and she thought I was talking about her. She's in the audience. This girl. Grown, huh? I mean, 17, 18. And so she starts crying, and she tells me who she is. Now, I've got 10 children. How are you going to tell somebody what their mother told them is a lie?
Right.
So I said, well, wait a minute. Let me go to a payphone. I want you to come with me. And who is it? Your aunt. And I called Leo, and I said, you know that trial we had? I said, well, the young lady's here now. And I want to say this in front of you. I said, well, this summer when school's out, why don't you come down on the farm and visit your brothers and sisters? And so here's the number. Just call Leo, and she'll make arrangements.
Right.
So I didn't see her for like 6 months. She came to me, and I said, why didn't you come down? She said, my mama told me your children would beat me up. I mean, I know damn good and well, looking at my children, that their mother tell them something, they're going to believe it. Who am I to say it didn't happen, right?
Right.
And so that's the one thing. Okay, now, I'll get to Bill in a minute. I'm going to Detroit to do a thing, a church group. They're paying me fantastic money because I got to do 5 things that day starting at 7-something in the morning. Started 7-something in the morning. To 8 o'clock that night, right?
Right.
And so I check in that night, and I get up to there's a 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock breakfast with them, right? So I go, and I get dressed. So now we're gonna be out all day. It's so hot in Detroit, I am drenching wet, but I haven't got time because we go right straight through. And then the guard came for him and said, no, Mr. Gregory, we didn't want to say this, but we don't have anything to do now until the 8 o'clock dinner. So we can either take you to a vegetarian restaurant or can take you back to the hotel. I said, oh, take me back to the hotel. So I go back to the hotel, take my clothes off, soaking wet, my suit, take a shower, open up the door, and I see a pair of women's panties and women's shoes. Hear me now. I don't know if they was there. I don't know if the maid left them there. So I put my robe on, and I called downstairs, and I said, would you send a manager up and a house detective? I need to report something. Well, they jump quick because they don't want their hotel getting no bad name about nothing, right? So they come up, and I tell them what happened. And I said, I don't know if they was here when I came in last night. They was here when I left this morning. But I said, I can't afford not to have this go on record. So then the brother told me, he said, just a minute. He had a little thing over his arm like a woman's purse. And he said, let me put the key in here. He said, every time a key go in here, it gets recorded. And I can look. You came in what time? I said, so he said, yeah, you came in at 11:50. You left here at 7:40. The maid came in at 12:10. Oh, here it is. Here's it. No, somebody came in here, and it wasn't us. I said, we got the key here. This is not one of our keys. Somebody did come in here. So then I said, okay, then you need to call the Detroit police. He said, no. So Detroit police came in, and I told him to write this down, have this down. Now, assuming I hadn't came back,
Right.
I would have went from there to the dinner or the lunch, right?
Mm-hmm.
I come back that night after I finish. I go to bed. At 2 o'clock in the morning, cops knocking on my door, right? And they got this white woman, huh? And she crying, all beat up. And she says, he did this, and I ran out, and I left my shoes and my panties here. Anytime something happens at 4 o'clock in the morning and you looking at it the 7 o'clock news, you know how hard it is to get a camera at that time of morning? So you all wake up today and you got this white woman crying, saying, I didn't rape her. See, we've been lovers for 15 years, okay? And I told him I was married, and he said, well, I just want some cocaine. And I came by, and then after we shared the cocaine, I told him I had to get home. Then he grabbed me and tried to have sex with me. And I ran out and left my shoes. I put them in the closet when I came in. And so now I get out of jail that morning, and the whole world done heard we've been lovers for 15 years. So I get out, and the cameras is there. I said, Mr. Gregory, you got anything to say? I said, I don't know who. I don't even know what this is about. I don't even know who she is. Right? Now, I told the world that, right? She said, we've been lovers for 15 years. Now, put a pin there and let me show you how this works. 5 years ago, this is myth. 5 years ago, I was in Kansas City. This is myth now. And when I get through, a white dude walks up to me and said, God, I've never heard nothing like this in my life. Jesus, what a... I said, let me tell you who I am. I have 50 companies, and I'm about to lose my federal contracts because the woman thing is coming through, and I don't know how to deal with it. But you just told me it's too late tonight, but can I come by in the morning? We have breakfast. I need you, and I need you to give me a price of how much it costs for you to come to my 50 companies. So I go to bed. Next day, I'm up, brother. I go down. Anytime you go into a restaurant, you know how you can wait to be seated, you can sit at the bar?
Right.
Never sit at the bar. You know why? Why? You're not responsible for who you sitting next to. So me and him sitting there, and we talking. He said, oh, my son's fixing to get married. I forgot the date. Let me run to the car and get my briefcase. So when he leaves, this is myth now. A white woman says, Dick Gregory, oh, do my father, oh, can I hug you? And she hugs and kisses. Click. Now, I've told the whole world I never met her, I don't know her, and they come up with this picture from 15 years ago, or 5 years. Now, what do you all think of me? See, so you can't ask about him because I know too much about what goes down. For instance, let's say you are the top, you just put out a record today that's selling $10 million a week, right? Right. Couple of days before Christmas, right? So you got a big royalty check coming, right? You're going to have a Christmas. So 2 weeks ago, I filed charges against you, not as Dick Gregory, and said, I wrote that song. Now, they don't know or not. So now we go to court. You know what happens?
What happened?
The federal judge frees all your money. Now, you ain't never had no money. You one of the richest cats in the movie industry, and you don't have a quarter for Christmas, right? So you make a deal. You settle out of court.
Right.
This is a scam they've been doing. Now, I'm not saying this about these ladies. I'm saying what goes on out here. So now, here's what I question. Bill Cosby was getting ready to buy NBC. He had the money and the pull. white supremacy said no black person will ever own the network.
Right.
So his son comes up dead.
Mm-hmm.
In California. He's driving on the highway. Gets a flat. They say it's robbery. Who gonna rob somebody on the highway where cars doing 80, 70, 80 a month? Huh?
Right.
So they say he pulls off the highway and calls this woman friend of his, right?
Mm-hmm.
She shows up in high heel shoes, miniskirt, and a mink coat, right?
Mm-hmm.
The high help him change the tire. What they didn't know, this Mercedes had the technology. You got a flat, you push the button, and it changed its own tire.
Mm-hmm.
Now, ask a question. How is it Bill Cosby's son was killed and he can't do no Jell-O commercials no more?
Mm.
Is that mean, man?
Mm.
He can't do no more Jell-O commercials? I mean, think about that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That is really out of your mind, right?
Right.
Okay, so now, no NBC.
Mm-hmm.
So now, the word I got from my people in Europe, he's getting ready to make another big deal. Now, who told the world about him this time? Was it the black comic?
Yeah, Hannibal Buress. That's who they blame it on. Yeah.
No. I'm talking about who did you see? You know who they blame it on. Huh?
Right.
Him. Did a whole act, right?
Right.
Most people ain't never heard of him around the world, right?
Right.
Have you seen him in the last 3 weeks?
No.
Okay, see how they do it? They will start it off with a black man, because you can't say this is white folk trick.
Right.
He gets out there. If Hannibal Bird came up dead tonight, most people around the world would think, who put the hit on him?
Mm-hmm.
Who? Bill Cosby, right?
Right. I thought,
okay.
yeah, definitely.
If Bill Cosby came up dead tonight and a suicide note, how many people wouldn't believe it, huh?
That's true.
Okay, so I'm not saying what they're saying is not true. I'm saying this. Why are all these women coming out when it's too late to get any money?
Right.
And why didn't you come out before?
Yes.
Now, watch this.
Okay.
When they came out, the girl came out, she's 15 years old, at the Playboy Club,
Right. Crazy. Mm-hmm.
And Bill Cosby took her and her friend. Oh, it might not be crazy, but say you 19, huh?
Right.
The next day, the LAPD, and if you didn't see that, you need to pull that. The LAPD say they're gonna investigate Bill Cosby and Hugh Hefner. Okay, now listen to this now. They said that. And we got a few minutes. You can pull that up while I'm talking.
Yes,
this
sir.
is the head of the police department, huh? Of the L.A. Police Department, huh?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Huh?
It's New York Daily News on December 7th, 2014. LAPD to search Hefner Estate during Bill Cosby investigation.
Okay, now you heard that, right?
Right.
2 days ago, pull up what he said. They have no evidence to proceed with an investigation. This is what his wife was talking about. That ran all over the world.
Right.
Now, here's the problem with this. The head of the L.A. Police Department, you know how many lawyers they got?
More than God, probably.
Huh?
More than God.
All right, no. You mean the lawyers couldn't tell him the time had expired? Huh? That's what he said. We passed the time that we could investigate this case.
Wow.
Because of the statute of limitations. No, listen to what he said. You just read. What did he say when you first read it?
They were going to investigate Hugh Hefner's estate.
Looking for what?
Evidence.
Okay, no. That happened, 30 years ago?
Right. I was thinking.
Man, this fool. See, when this stat man, listen what he said. Now, all of them said he gave him pills, right?
Right.
But nobody knew what the pill was, huh? But most of them said he didn't have nothing to do. How do you know if you're unconscious, huh? How do you know if you're unconscious, huh?
You know what? And that's a good question that Whoopi Goldberg raised towards Beverly Johnson on the show. about, were you concerned about the type of drug it was? Why weren't you concerned about the type of drug? Why didn't you go to the hospital?
You said, didn't you?
Right. I think
I've had every type of drug you can have.
Thank you. I'm glad you said it. But, also I want to ask you this as well.
Wait, no, it's important.
Oh, yes, sir.
I knew something was happening to me. She said I had every kind of drug and called him an MF on the front page of the New York.
Vanity Fair?
Huh?
Vanity Fair? Or you talking about...
No, the front page the other day of the New York, either the Daily News or the New York, the New York, what is it?
Times? Not the Times.
No. The Daily News.
No, I know Daily News.
And what is it? The
Post. The Post.
New York Post.
Yeah, yes.
Pull up one of them the other day where it says she called him a MF. This is the headlines, man.
Uh-huh.
Where she called him a MF. That was just a couple of days ago.
Okay.
No. And then she said, well, I got in the cab. I told the cab driver I just called Bill Cosby an MF. She might have. But that don't seem normal. You going to tell a strange cab driver?
Right.
And then she said she called his house 2 nights later.
Right.
And his wife answered the phone.
Right.
And she said, Bill's in bed asleep. Matter of fact, we in bed together. That sounds strange for a wife to say, right?
Right.
Me and my husband's in bed together. What does that mean? Huh?
Right.
And so now, did that thing come up yet in the...
Well, I was typing in NY Post Beverly Johnson, called Bill Cosby and MFer. Like a lot of the Vanity Fair article come up and the gossip, all the little gossip sites, they...
Well, don't worry about it. I'm saying it was the headline, so we can find that anytime. No,
right.
Don't. So here's what I'm saying. So I'm listening to this, and I got 7 daughters. Huh?
Right.
And I'm an entertainer. I know what entertainers do. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
They caught Charles Barkley in the car in the back seat having oral sex with him, and they let him go after he cussed them out. Huh?
Right.
Now, I would never say that on this show unless you could punch it up and pull it. It made the news.
Right.
So what I'm saying is it could all be true. But I'm looking at stuff. Now, what did they do? You think they're doing it for money? Hell no. Look, didn't NBC cancel his new show?
Right.
You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know they had to pay him $50 million anyway?
No, they ain't say that. I didn't know that.
I didn't ask you. I said, did you know it?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Netflix canceled his show, right? You know they had to pay him $60 million?
I didn't know that. Wow.
Did you know the company that distributes his reruns of the Cosby Show?
Mm.
Did you know they canceled?
Yes.
All right. Now let me tell you, Bill has 51% ownership of that. Ed Weinberger, my friend, I'm the first guy he ever wrote for, and he had to go everywhere black I went, him and Jim Sanders. That's why he's one of the richest cats in Hollywood. He wrote so many black shows. He also wrote for Johnny Carson. He wrote Mary Tyler Moore. He wrote Taxi. The money just flows in, right?
Right.
And so, and then everybody that was on that show, the children and everybody, that's grown now, do you know when them reruns run, every time it runs, they get $1,000 per show? Okay, now wait a minute now. It runs a minimum of 30 times a day, or maximum of 50 times. So if your daughter, if you was a little boy, if you was on the show every day, you guaranteed $30,000 or $50,000. You know how much investment you have now that that's cut off? How you gonna pay them notes, man? This thing is huge.
Wow.
So what I'm saying is the women, where they getting the money, they might be there. They ain't saying where they're getting the money from. Just because you was a hot star, you can be raggedy and broke now. Huh? Nobody's talking about where they're into drugs. Okay? Now, we already know he's into drugs. He's listening to them, but they not said that. He gave him some wine, and then he gave him this pill. Well, who are you going to take a pill that somebody gives you
Right.
I see cocaine or heroin or crack, but somebody going to give you a pill? And so then the next thing they'll do is they'll come up and say, some woman was murdered. And they'll find some black guy just like they did that Thug comic. To say, I did it for him, huh?
Right.
And then you know what they'll say?
Well,
Oh, they happen to be in the state where the statute limited. So that's how I look at it, because I know what they're doing out here, and I see it. And if a woman, look, first, if you can find a woman to find something I was doing 30 years ago, right?
All right.
You think I quit? You mean if I'm that type of freak, you think I didn't have one last month?
Right, exactly. You got pills and stuff now. You got all types of stuff that can keep you going for a while.
You hear me? And so how come if they can go back and find all them women, how come they can't find a recent one of when did Bill stop? Okay. And so that's what we're looking at. Now, it might come out to be true, but they got to come out with some better stuff, and they're coming out. Now, finally, before we finish, we're getting ready. Now, all the stuff we missed, get another day.
I'll give you the stuff that Brother Derek Muhammad, our good friend, he said the project is called the Boston Project with Quaker Oats. The school is the George Fennell School for Children. Fed the children plutonium in their oatmeal.
Hey,
he said you can read about this.
See, you talk too fast, man.
All right,
damn,
slow it down.
You got old folks listening to you.
All right, let's do it over here. All right.
Okay.
He said the project is called the Boston Project with Quaker Oats. The school is the George Fennell School for Children. They fed the children plutonium in their oatmeal. You can read about this in the book Plutonium Files.
Okay, now is that the black woman who wrote that book?
I'm not sure. I could look it up. But also, with the Kellogg's piece, too, I found some recent stuff about the GMOs with the corn.
Yeah.
They said that Kellogg's uses 100% saturated poison-producing GMO corn.
Yeah.
GMO corn.
What grandmother did in them corn is?
Is genetically modified organism. Genetically modified organism.
Organisms, okay.
Right. It said
what do they use it for? Corn?
Bug killers like black flag and raid.
Huh?
They said if GMO corn was sold in a hardware store, it would be most appropriately placed next to the other bug killers, like black flag and raid.
Oh, yeah, okay. No, listen. See, when the brother just called you, he's the number one. I talk to him all over the world, right?
Right.
And I say, brother, if you still listening, soon when I hang up, call me. I got something to run past you. Now, listen to this here. Hear me good now. Read that again, man. Especially these Negroes, like my mama, if she was alive. Hear what you said. Those was rich white children. What did they do? And what year was it?
Let me look it up. Yeah, the Boston Project. Got it.
The one you just finished reading.
Yeah.
That Darren sent you.
Yeah.
You threw it away that fast?
No, I didn't throw it away. He just sent it to me. He didn't send me a link or anything like that. That's Well,
what were you reading just now?
He read a note he gave me. He gave me a note.
Well, what did you do with the note?
In the early 1950s, the Boston Project in the early 1950s.
Slow up, man. You got people there trying to write it down?
Yeah, but like the Boston Project in the early 1950s, some experiments with radiation on people.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Well, let me tell you something. We'll deal with it.
I got it. In the 1950s, mentally retarded students were given permission by their parents to belong to the science club at the Fennell School in Waltham, Massachusetts. They were fed radiation with the cereal to identify the pathway of nutrients in the human digestive system. The tests were carried out by the Quaker Oats cereal researchers from MIT. I'm going to read that part again.
Now, wait a minute. Didn't I tell you MIT?
Yeah, he told me. You told us.
That would make Hitler blush. Did I tell you that?
Yes, sir. You told us. The proof is in the oatmeal. Well, Quaker Oats wanted to prove that nutrients in their cereal travel throughout the body so they could win an advertising war against cream of wheat, their largest competitor.
Okay.
Quaker Oats hope that traces of radiation would help them to identify the rates of absorption and elimination of the nutrients.
Okay, now, hold it. Let's do me a favor. Do me a favor.
Okay.
Do me a favor. We will have Brother Darren on because there's still something that they did in the 1920s.
Right.
With that same school, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted poor white folks and black folks to know they do this to rich white folks. They don't care. So if you know if they do it to them, what they doing, and that was in the 50s. The one I was talking about was in the late 20s.
Right. And they also said they settled a lawsuit on December 31st, 1997. Quaker Oats settled a lawsuit, and 30 of the students were awarded an overall settlement of $1.85 million. $1.85 million. Yes, sir.
And so, again, I'm saying, when you look up here and think about black folk killing, oh, come on, y'all, And so, how much time I got?
We kind of ran a little bit over, but I had got some callers that want to talk to you right quick. I don't know if you could take calls right now.
Yeah, but before I do that, let me do this here.
Okay.
About Christmas, right?
Mm-hmm.
You heard of jolly old Saint Nick, right?
Right.
Jolly old Saint Nick. So that means his name was Nicholas, right?
Right.
But he became a saint, right?
Right.
So who is he? He was one of the richest cats in Europe. And every year during the holidays, he gave all his money away. That's why he became a saint, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Jolly old Saint Nick, okay? Now, Santa Claus, the chimney man, right?
Right.
In Europe, when there wasn't no oil stoves or gas stoves, it was just wooden stoves or coal stoves, and that created soot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was the white dude that went down and cleaned the chimneys out, okay?
Right.
He was a chimney sweeper, okay? So they take that and put it into mythology, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've always wondered why, when they killed my Jesus, they told me to call that day Good Friday, right?
Right.
So I called it, how can that be a good day if you kill my Jesus? Well, let me tell you why it's a good day. The sun dies every year on December the 21st. You got that?
Yes, sir.
That's the first day.
The winter solstice.
The winter solstice, right? December 21st. Right? The sun dies. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's 3 days before Christmas, right?
Right.
Okay? So now the sun dies. This is the story. This is where this story came from. December the 21st, right?
Right.
Is when the sun dies, right? So when you got him, when you was your mother was impregnated by your father, it goes into the seed and it smothers to death for 3 days, and then it explodes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now on December the 25th, midnight, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, are you old enough to know that you could used to go to people's house and there was a death in the family, be a wreath on the door?
Okay. I'm not aware of that, but go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, a wreath, and it had a purple ribbon on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you die, you all turn black. So all them white folks, wait, look at people themselves when they die. You turn black, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you was going by somebody's house and you saw that wreath on the door and you hadn't been in town in a year, you going by to have a party, you go get back in the car, right?
Right.
That wreath, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then after the funeral, the wreath is taken down. Okay? Now let's go back. On December the 25th, midnight. Now I need you to count, but you got to be tricky now.
Right.
December the 21st, midnight. The sun dies for 3 days. Now we got to count. From December the 21st, midnight. December the 22nd, midnight. 1 day. December the 23rd, midnight. 2 days. December the 24th, midnight. 3 days, right? Well, December the 24th, midnight, is also the morning of what?
Christmas Eve. Wait.
Christmas Eve is over.
Right, but you said 3 days. Actually, 4 days, right? 4 days.
No, son. Midnight the 21st, right?
All right, midnight 21st. I got you. Okay.
Midnight the 22nd is the first day. Midnight the 23rd is the second. Midnight the 24th is the third day. That's when the wreath comes down and you light the tree. And the pagans didn't light no damn tree. They just put ornaments on the tree because they know the sun is back alive. Huh?
Right.
That's what that's about. So now why do you call it Good Friday? Because 270 days from that is when she conceived. That's Friday. And that's why it's called Good Friday, huh?
Yes, sir.
And so anyway, I'm saying when you sit and you look at all of this, now what we need to, you got some people want to call. Okay.
Yes, sir. I will make it quick. And y'all can make it quick.
They don't need to make it quick.
Are you sure? I mean, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I take the first caller, 313. You on the air. Welcome to We All Be.
How you doing, Brother Ron and Brother Dick?
Fantastic. Can you talk a little bit louder so I can hear you better?
I'm sorry. Can you hear me better now?
I hear you good now. Real good.
Okay. I'd just like to say I hope that God and my mother and father keep blessing you and Brother Ron with long life.
Thank you.
Brother Gregory, I had a question about, I noticed that you mentioned the name Jim Jones. I want you to tell me what was the connection between Jim Jones and that brother Mark Lane. Was he tricked to be his lawyer, or was it something else going on with him?
No, I was supposed to go over there with him, and I was in jail. Now, let's go back. Jim Jones was government. They was testing out something. You know, when Hollywood get through the movie, they say it's a wrap, right?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Okay, here's where they mess up when you look at it with your spiritual eye. They said Jim Jones was so upset because the congressman was there, right?
Right.
That everybody was going to die, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he fixed poison. Okay? You hear me? He put poison in the Kool-Aid, right?
Right.
Now, let me tell you something. That works for people, but the dogs and the cats drink the Kool-Aid. A cat ain't going to drink no Kool-Aid with nothing in it. That's long with cyanide in it. See how they mess up? Now, Jim Jones was found dead, okay? Shot himself in the left side of the head, and he right-handed. You know how hard that is to do that? And then they found the gun 300 yards away from him? Huh? Now, when I heard that, I was renting a charter plane to go down there and check out Mark Lane. And then that's when his wife called me and said he's okay, right? So then I called my friend Francis Johnson the next day that ran the company for him in San Francisco. You got that? Huh? I said, hey, girlfriend, what's up? What happened? She said, I can't believe it. My mother and my daughter's dead, but I can't believe. And listen to this, man. She said, but I'm just glad she had peace for a few minutes before she died. They're talking about the whole time she's with him now. So I said, well, tell me what happened yesterday. When you talked to him? She said, I talked to Jim Jones yesterday morning. He called and put his monthly order in. $250,000 worth of supplies. Do that sound like somebody's getting ready to kill everybody? Huh?
No, sir.
Okay, now watch this. They brought the bodies back. Now everybody was laughing at them, bunch of stupid Negroes, right?
Right.
They brought them bodies back to Dover, Delaware. You see, if an American is in Europe and die, or have a stroke or heart attack and die or get murdered, they bring those bodies back to Dover. Anybody American killed east of the Rockies, you come back to Dover. Anybody killed west of the Rockies, anywhere in the world, you come back to the Oakland Navy Depot, okay? So when that happened, I called a friend of mine, and I said, can you get somebody on the Delaware? The military depot, whatever you want. So we got pictures, huh? They said they shot themselves in the arm with the needles, huh? Where the shots were was too far for you to get your hand up and shoot it. You know, it had to be down lower. So that goes out the window. Well, let me tell you the tricky thing. They went down and talked to a black undertaker guy in Philadelphia. For 20 years, he'd been making a bid to get the contract to service that host. He gave up. So now, the year of Jonestown before, he gets a knock on the door. It's the United States government. Says, man, we just want you to know you won the bid for the contract for Dover. He said, I didn't put a bid in. He said, no, we just felt so sorry. You've been bidding so long. You just have it. They knew them blacks was coming back, right? Right. 6 months before. Now watch this. Do you know when them black folks came back to Dover, huh? That was the military that brought them back. Did you know that? They brought them back.
No, sir.
They put them in coffins. Hear me. And they locked the coffins and cemented them. And everyone, if your mother, grandmother, when they brought that body home, they had a military escort, just like if you was a war hero. Did you hear me? And they went there to see to it those coffins was put in the grave, and that grave was covered out, or you could have them cremated. That's how vicious this is. So what we know now is the country right next to it, which is 2 miles, they dropped tear gas and put everybody out. Then they injected them. That's how the dogs and the cats. Ain't no dog. You can't get a dog to drink Kool-Aid. Okay? You can't get a dog, unless the dog is real thirsty, you know, the water that come out the faucet with the chlorine and fluoride, they won't drink that. They'll let it sit in a bowl. You can put it in a bowl for a dog. They'll let it sit there until all gas goes up to a high level. So I tell people who don't want to buy bottled water, say get you tap water and sit it on the floor if you got a dog or a cat, and don't you drink it till you see them drinking. No, so that's what that's about. The government paid for it. You know, they made these white folks and black folks think them was fools, and that was an experiment. That was an experiment. And then after it was over, they said it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
All right, so we got another caller, Eric Cole.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, thank you, brother, for that. That was a great call. I get this. Eric Cole 212, you on the air. Welcome to We All Be. 212. Let's move on. Got Eric Code 401, y'all on the air. Welcome to We All Be.
How you doing, Brother Ron?
How you doing, brother? How you doing? What's your name?
Wayne Barboza.
Hey, Brother Wayne, how you doing, man? Yeah, go ahead.
God bless you, brother. Dick Gregory. Peace and love to you, and happy holiday.
Oh, I'm so glad to get in touch with you. I don't know what kind of time is left on the show. I actually thought the show was over.
It's overtime a little bit, but go ahead.
Go ahead, keep talking. I hear you. Go ahead.
I'm going to jump right. I'm going to jump right into it because I'm not used to these phone calls. Brother Gregory, you lived in Plymouth for a period of time.
I still live there. I still live in Plymouth.
What?
I still live in Plymouth. I didn't hear you.
That's the way I understand it. I work on a project. I've been working on it for 14 years, and I know you know more about it than I do. It's called the Parting Ways Project.
The what?
Parting Ways Project.
Parting Ways. Tell me about it, because they got stuff listed under different names.
I understand, because I'm an elder myself. Back in the 60s, a settlement in Plymouth was discovered, and architects dug it up and they started. Does that ring a bell?
No, I can't hear. I didn't hear what you just said.
Yeah, you broke up a little bit.
Huh?
I was saying his voice broke up a little bit.
Yeah. So what did you say now?
Okay, I'll try again. Back in the 60s,
yes,
a settlement of African American veterans that fought with George Washington
yes,
was given Lincoln. Are you familiar with that land?
Yes,
Okay. I understand that you had a little involvement with it when it first was discovered.
You know, I know the young lady that did it. I was going all over the world then, and doing different projects. But I remember I was there when they did it. I know the black photographer and all that.
Well, I'm working with the project. We got the land back for a memorial to build for these patriots. And just recently, we were inducted into the Congressional Black Caucus of Veterans Brain Trust.
Right.
And the Department of Interior and a whole bunch of people, big shots, so forth, all endorsed and ready to negotiate on what to do with the land. Now, for 14 years, I haven't been able to really speak. I'm the vice president of the nonprofit aspect that owns the land. Okay, and let me catch my mind straight.
Take your time.
Because this is 30 years in the making, and 14 years of my life. And I raised 13 children, so I'm at the end of the rope. I have to succeed right away. And what I'm trying to accomplish is to build a memorial there. But not a dead memorial, a living memorial. We're planning on taking 5 acres of the land that we got back and doing aquaponics and hydroponics, etc., and a research center.
Yes.
A learning center there. So there's a big political debate that goes way back to the Plymouth nuclear power plant, Bechtel.
Yeah.
And with Caucus and Kennedy and all them guys were involved. Right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, I know I can't put this into this a short time. And that.
Well, here's what we do. Let me tell you what we do. The brother, he'll give you where to get in touch with him, and you send the information to him. We will get together with Derek and some other folks and some women. But now remember, real quick, what would you like to do?
Well, at this moment, I wouldn't want to talk on the phone because...
No, I just said, what would you like to do? Didn't you say something about a memorial?
Yeah, we want to develop...
Didn't you just tell me that on the phone?
Yes.
So that's all I asked you. What would you like to do?
I would like to develop that land.
Okay. Now, do you have to get licensed? Do you got to get permission?
No, we have everything in place except for the professional and the finances. No,
you're not hearing me. When did you get the permission and the license to do that?
We've had it for over 30 years.
All right, now you better look and see if they... No, hear me. Look and see if they're expired, okay?
1965.
Huh?
1965.
What about?
That's when the corporation received the land and title.
I didn't say that. No. See, you're not hearing me. You think this is just an ordinary... I'm saying look and see have that expired, because if it have, you ain't getting no more license, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Huh? We wouldn't have been indoctrinated if anything was wrong. We wouldn't have been allowed into the
Baby, you're not hearing me. You're not. Look, that's why I don't like to deal with stuff on the phone. Okay, I'm telling you this. Do you have a car? You drive a car?
Yeah.
When do your license expire?
February 4th.
Okay, that's all I'm asking you. I say check it and see if they expired, huh? They do all kind of... You haven't heard the whole show about the stuff they be doing, huh?
Oh, I'm quite familiar with it.
I didn't say that. I said before I get involved, I need to know, have this expired? It might not. Okay? And then you call them and make sure. Okay?
Okay, so if you give me some way to send that
I just told you, the brother we talking to on his show, you get it from him, and we talk every other day, okay?
That sounds wonderful, brother. That's all I could ever expect from you. I really appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you, brother Wayne. We appreciate it.
Do he know how to reach you?
Yeah, I know how to reach him, yeah.
All right, good enough. Okay.
All right, great. I appreciate
that. Happy holiday.
Happy holiday. And we got a caller, 901. You are on the air. Welcome to We All Be. 901. They said move on. There's still a lot of people. You got a caller from your hometown. St. Louis, 314. You're on the air. Welcome to We All Be.
How you doing, Gregory? I got
my brother. Peace to you. Yes.
You too. So you did a show a month or so ago. I listen to everything you do on YouTube and everything. I follow Brother Ron and all that. But you did a show on AIDS, and I found it hard to believe. I finally came across this guy named Dr. Sabi, and he was saying how he cured AIDS and cured all this type of stuff. And you and him had a seemed like a tit for tat about. He said that you said black people manifested sickle cell to combat malaria and all this and that.
Yeah, sure. That's you're born with that.
And also, hold on. And one other thing. Now you say you're Uncle Tom or whatever. I mean, not whatever, but if you say you're Uncle Tom, and it was on another show you said that you're not going to say certain things on the phone or on the show. And I'm figuring, like, what do you have to lose, or it just seems a little disingenuous if you're keeping.
Let me tell you something. Wait, hold, bro. Let me tell you something.
If you have something to say, I mean, no, I'm not. I'm trying to be, condescending or anything.
You know how many agents call me up when I'm on the phone talking that crap you talking, huh? All right. I just didn't know they use St. Louis. Listen to me. Hear me. Okay? I know stuff that if I told you Americans would start committing suicide. Okay? All right.
But why don't you let us decide? Because that sounds like some Area 51 type stuff. Like they keeping stuff where they have so many secrets and we don't know what to believe. But if you have some pertinent information, I mean, what do you have to lose? I mean, just let us know. Like NBC.
Let me tell you something, son. Let me tell you something. I know stuff. No, wait. Will you shut up and let me talk? Huh?
Yes, sir.
I know stuff that if I said it on this show, it would discredit me, huh? And if you hear me talk, I will never say when Kennedy was. Are you still talking?
No. Can I meet? Well, let me meet you. I want to know. That's why I want to ask Obama or somebody like that. Like what? Like, have he seen an alien or
you know what? Let me tell you something. You know the good part about shows like that.
Well, tell me then. I ain't gonna tell nobody.
Anybody can call. Crazy people in jail. So I don't know which one you in, but I'm through with this here. Okay.
All right. We'll move
on. I go all over the world. I'm with top researchers. We know stuff. You heard stuff on Jonestown you ain't never heard tonight. Okay. And then you going to call me up and question me about some stuff, huh? And then going to get belligerent about it? I'm going to tell you what. I wouldn't sell you an ice cream cone. This is my stuff with researchers, and we put it all together, and we're glad we got places we can give it out where people can hear it, and then they go deeper in it. Now, the last thing I'm going to say to you is this, huh? There was a psychic was known as the number one psychic in the world. I always tell people, when you go to St. Louis, sit your watch back 3 hours. Now listen, here's Gene Dixon.
Mm-hmm.
Man, would you punch this up while we're talking?
Okay.
Gene Dixon, 18 months before Kennedy went to Dallas, huh? Before Kennedy went to Dallas, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? She did a column and said, I see dark clouds around JFK's head. Don't go to Dallas. He wasn't even booked to go to Dallas.
Right.
Please, Mr. Kennedy, do not go to Dallas, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Now, 18 months later, he gets shot. Okay?
Right.
Now, she runs the column again all over the world. And you know what they found out?
What?
We found out she's on Hoover's payroll, and Hoover give her targets 18 months to 2 years before it happened. If my mother was alive, she'd think that went sent at the right hand of God. Okay? Now, let me tell you this. His car was never supposed to go down Elm Street till 30 minutes before it was ordered to make that change. Simple. How did Oswald know to get a job at the book depository on L Street if it wasn't supposed to go down there? Okay? All right? So we sit here and we do stuff. We watch stuff. We know what we can say on a radio show. Okay? And we know what we can say in private meetings. Okay? Didn't you hear me tell that brother before you to get in touch with him, and then we'll have a meeting and we'll go through with it? And you sitting here talking about you want to meet with the president. I hope you take your pills before you meet with him. Okay? Thank you.
Right. Also, I want to say with Jean Dixon, they also said that she actually predicted the death of Dr. King, too.
I didn't hear you.
They said she predicted the death of Dr. King as well. Kennedy and King. And you said, J. Hoover hated King, as we all know.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
I don't know he hated him. I know why he hated him. I'd never say this on the show.
Right. I got you. Okay, I got you. Brother Greg. So we're going to move to...
The last thing we'll deal with this. These white folks have been building cities in outer space. Now, you think that little... I better not say that. That might sound like one of my cousins. They've been building cities... Wait. They've been building cities in outer space since 1963.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't get them ready until they got the space elevator, because Queen Elizabeth, if they take her, Queen Elizabeth ain't getting on no rocket. They got space elevators. The elevator was put together at Florida University. What they call the Gators? What?
The Florida, University of Florida, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
And the other one, the rod that it goes up on was put together at Virginia Tech. Okay.
Interesting.
It's ready. Now, the reason I said I don't know if they're gonna let Queen Elizabeth on it, because I want you to hear this, brother.
Mm-hmm.
London is not part of Britain. Did you hear that?
Yes, sir.
London is not part of Britain. And in order for Queen Elizabeth to go into London, she got to get permission from the Lord Mayor. And if the Lord Mayor gives her permission, she got to come through the back gate, Temple Gate, dressed up as a servant. Okay?
Wow.
As a servant. But Britain is not connected to London at all. Now, for your benefit, my brother, punch up, write this number down. You too, write this number down. February the 2nd, 2013. And I want you to punch this up so you can read to that. I'm going to say this again.
Wow.
Did you
February the 2nd, yeah.
What's it say about the Vatican? The Lord, did it mention the Vatican?
Well, it's like United States Conference of Catholic. Let me see. I'm just typing to the link.
Wait. Let's go over it again.
United States Conference of Catholic.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
No. The February the 2nd, 2013, the Bank of Italy suspended all Vatican credit cards. So they was trafficking in drugs, it was trafficking little girls, it was trafficking little boys. All right, now listen, punk, listen to this and see what you're going to see. This is white folks telling you. Listen to it. Read it. You pull it up?
Well, I didn't pull it up. So they had a conference.
Just pull it up real quick. Quick. Not that a whole lot of stuff come up. I'm saying the February the 2nd,
right,
2013, the Bank of Italy suspended all Vatican credit cards, okay?
Right.
And that should pop up real quick.
Yeah. I'm looking at Money CNN, yeah.
Okay, what's it say?
It said Vatican goes cash only after Bank of Italy suspends credit cards.
Now, let me tell my brother there's so much stuff we know out here, man, that a lot of people ain't even qualified to deal with it, okay? Okay? And we know I'm not going to come on his show and take advantage of his show. I'm not coming on yours and take advantage. I know exactly what I can say. And when you listen to us on these shows, if you really knew what we talked about doing commercials, so you going to call up talking about you want to talk to the president to see. Here's what you do. They made the president release his birth certificate, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a woman that was head of the... See, they didn't think she was going to release it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And so they could keep talking about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, punch up on your computer, the woman that released President Obama's birth certificate. They killed her 2 weeks before last Christmas. Punch that up and see what come up. And then, brother, you hang up the phone and go to bed and go to sleep and try to sleep through everything. Pull it up when you get it.
Yeah, health director who approved Obama birth certificate.
Wait. See, you read too fast, man.
Right, I'm just trying to get it in. Okay, go ahead.
I'm saying there's people out there that want to write it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now do
it. Okay.
What did it say?
It said health director who approved Obama birth certificate dies in plane crash.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so, brother, if you could sit around the real table, not just some stuff. Let me tell you, when you're doing radio shows, I don't know when you came in. I don't know when you turned it on. Huh?
Right.
I don't know what parts you heard. This is theater, man. And I work the shows of the people I respect because of what they have, what they got. And a whole lot of stuff. When I tell them to get on the computer, that's not for my benefit. I've been knowing that.
Right.
I said, get on the computer. When you tell me Darren's called in, man, you in high cotton when you get a brother like that called in. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. So,
okay, we're going to move. Yeah, we got 347. You're on the air. Welcome to We All Be. 347. Just move on. And you scared them away too. They went to sleep or something. 706. You got on the air. Welcome to We All Be.
Hey, brother Gregory.
Yes, sir, my brother. Peace and love to you.
Hey, how you doing, man? This is
family.
Tyrone.
Huh?
Yeah, this is Tyrone right here.
All right. Good.
Yeah, my question for you is, first of all, my brother put me on. Well, pretty much introduced you to me, and I've been following you for about a good maybe 3 months.
Come on, give me the question.
All right, gotcha. All right. I want to get your opinion on the whole Independence Day thing and the real secret behind Mount Rushmore.
Oh, I'm not even into that. I know some people I can call and get it.
Okay.
But wait. Let me tell you. You got a pen, some piece of paper on you? I want you to look. I want to tell you something. You got a pen, piece of paper?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
America's birthday is July the 4th. What? Well, somebody help me.
The year?
Huh? 1776, right? Huh?
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Now, what did I just tell you? America's birthday is what?
July 4th, 1776.
Didn't you ask me about Independence Day?
I want to know what's the real agenda.
No. I didn't ask you that. No, I didn't ask you that. You respect me like I respect you, huh? I know everything you talking about and more. Okay? All right. July the 4th, 1776, right?
Right.
Huh?
That's right.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Washington didn't become president till 89. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
That's what I'm telling you now. Huh? Then who ran the country? It was 8 black presidents. The first 8 presidents of the United States were black men. Huh? Okay? All right? That's what I'm trying to tell y'all call in. Huh? and I take you to another level. And I was honest, Lord, I've heard something about it, but I can look it up, and got researchers can pull it up. I'm here to say, here's the level you go. But my mama wouldn't be able to take this level. She's the one that told me that told me that that Santa Claus was a white man, not the Ku Klux Klan. Huh? My mother didn't know that King James, she didn't know he was King of England. She didn't know that King James was such a weird, strange homosexual. He hated women so bad he killed his mama. And his lover was Lord Buckingham, who Buckingham Palace named after. Okay? So these are all I'm saying to you is you call me. I told you, Mount Rushmore, I can get that in 2 seconds, huh? I got researchers all over the world. I just call and say, give me this here. But I'll give you something simple. George, America's birthday is July the 4th, 1776, and Washington didn't become president till 1789. Who ran the country? 8 black presidents. Yeah. Huh? All right? Okay, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that answer. And got another caller from, I think I know his sister, Sabrina Green. Welcome to We All Be.
Hi, greetings.
Girlfriend, God bless you and the family.
Gregory.
Yes.
A blessing to you, too.
Did you call me recently?
Wow. I talked to you on Sunday, and
well, I thought somebody called me and left a message.
Yeah. That was calling you to let you know about with the Cuban 5 getting released.
Yeah, but you told me. See, I didn't hear that. See, my phone blinked out. So when we hang up, would you please call me?
Okay.
The message was kind of blinked out. Okay. So we on now.
Yeah. Okay. With Cuba and Venezuela and Chavez, one with CELAC, which was formed about this time a couple of years ago. And there was another program, I can't remember what the other program that Chavez formed with a lot of Latin America and the countries of CELAC. And so that and the anniversary of that is about this time of year, because I remember when he formed it in December. But with Chavez being killed, when he came back from Cuba, he was healthy. But the place that he was in Venezuela, there were 2 Air Force people. And matter of fact, when they found out their presence there in Venezuela and Caracas, they had them removed from the country. And with that, then of course the U.S. insisted that the embassy officials that they be removed from from the embassy here in the States and that. And so that would happen there. So, obviously with the Venezuelans, there have been suspicion about with his death. But also when you were talking about with Jim Jones with Guyana, from what I remember, I thought that the real reason of what went down there was because of the congressperson that was down there.
The guy, congressman from California. Yes.
Right. Yes. No. That of killing of him that and lately with what happened with with the release and the changes on here, I've been told to communicate to people to follow with Telesur, especially what's going to happen in the next days coming up here. Because the release of Gross was not just only for Hanukkah, but on January 1st is the anniversary of the revolution in Cuba.
Yes.
So.
Now hold that. No. Hold it. 1 second. Okay. Did you know the United States government financed Batista and him?
Yes.
Did you know that? Okay.
Yes.
Now, do you remember when Castro came here and marched in Harlem?
Yes.
Did you know before he came here and marched in Harlem, he had a ticker-tape parade down Pennsylvania Avenue? Did you know that?
Well, Pennsylvania in D.C. or
did you hear what I just said, dear lady?
Yes.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that about
okay.
Pennsylvania Avenue.
Hey, brothers, you sit there, my man, and pull that up real quick before we get off.
Okay.
Okay? The ticker tape parade. And what was the greatest revolutionary of our time? What was his name? He fought with Castro?
Che Guevara.
Che Guevara. Castro helped kill him. He's never a punk thug. Castro helped kill him. Did you hear me?
Wow.
Are you looking for that?
Yeah.
Ticker tape parade. Castro down Pennsylvania Avenue.
They said he was given I'm looking at the Washington Times, and he was given a ticker tape parade in New York. And
No. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
That was in Harlem.
Yeah.
I'm saying he was given a ticker tape parade down Pennsylvania Avenue before he ever knew where Harlem was. Okay?
Right.
You don't see nothing coming up?
I'm typing it in.
Okay. And so, girlfriend, thank you. I just love your information and your whole piece.
Well, I certainly love your information because you give us a real re-education of everything.
Well, sometimes we get together again. I tell you the real thing about Kennedy. Okay.
Okay. All righty. Your thanks.
Nothing come up.
No, nothing. It's just I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna try to find it. And
did you know, sister, that Kennedy's brain was missing?
Yes.
Okay, now think about
you telling us that.
Now think about this. Here's a man shot. We don't know who did it. Everybody think it could have been Castro, it could have been the Russians. Who could get that close to the body to steal his brain? Okay. Did you know the coffin that they buried him in? Now you can pull this up. That's what I'm doing. You know the coffin that they buried him in, put in the ground. Do you know they dug that coffin up and threw it in the ocean?
Oh.
Did you know?
Yes, because you had mentioned that before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's mean, girlfriend. It is mean. It's not mean if you've been following it, and following it.
Well, BBC News said it. Kennedy's casket dumped in.
Wait. Slow up.
BBC News stated that Kennedy's casket was dumped in the Atlantic Ocean, about 9,000 feet.
Yeah. We got the exact measurement where it is. We could find somebody who could swim, could go down there. Why would they hide that? Because it's radio shows like yours that's going to make people in colleges that's doing the research go in there and look, and they would see the blood and the whole thing. And did you know the car that he was riding in that day at 4 o'clock that evening, they sent it back to Cincinnati where they make them and had the whole car overhauled? What about forensics? What about blood splatter?
Right. Yeah.
And when the Kennedy family was trying to find out, they started killing them and make like it's a bad omen.
They killed the Kennedys and kept the Bushes, huh? I heard that. I want to ask you this before we go, Brother Gregory. I'm appreciative of you taking the time.
But you still didn't find out about the march here.
I didn't find it. I know you tried out for the Washington Senators back in the day as a pitcher, but that's another story. I know that part. But I want to ask you this because I think it's very important.
Don't forget, sister, when you hang up, call me back because I really meant to call you back, but the thing, I got a boop on it and I didn't. Okay, what were you going to say, brother?
Yeah, I want to talk to you about this because, just clear up some stuff because you, like you said, you've been longer in the movement. You're a soldier, been down for the cause for years. I have been hearing people tell me this. They're claiming now that Dr. King and Jose Williams had a relationship and that Coretta Scott King was a lesbian. Have you heard that?
No, but why would you say something like that on a black show, which is a goddamn rumor? Are you crazy? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Why would you say something like that, huh? If you don't have the information, I don't have no problem with you saying it, but do you have the information?
No, I'm not saying that.
You think if I had it, you think I'd answer something like this on your show? Huh?
No, sir. Well, I had to take a chance, Kyle.
No, you can't take a chance, man. That's where you think that came from, huh?
Oh, from white supremacy, from white folks.
Okay, so why don't you call them and ask them that, huh? On this here show here, as many times if you have me by yourself, you never whispered that to me, huh? You wait till you get on the air all over the world and throw out some shit like that? I thought we was friends, man. How much stuff do I know? How much stuff do we talk about? personally, huh?
Yes, sir.
How many times do I give you a heads up so you don't get caught cold? And you going to ask me some stuff like that, huh? When you could ask me privately, huh?
Yes, sir.
You just took down Jose Williams. If there's anybody on the planet that was never gay, was Jose. Okay? All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And then so you're going to talk about Jose, King, and Coretta this close to Christmas? And if I didn't know you like I know you, I swear you was an agent, man.
No, I was talking. Yeah, I know. I understand.
No. I didn't say that.
No, I understand. Mm-hmm.
I said as long as we know, you can call my house, you can call my wife.
Yes, sir.
You run that past me. Say, man, let me run this past you, huh? And I said, yeah, but we can't talk about it, huh?
Yes,
and
sir.
you just gonna hit me with some shit like that, cold, huh? And then I ask you, do you have evidence?
No, sir. No, I don't have evidence.
So you go on something like this with the whole world listening and gonna ask me? You really don't know who I am, do you? And I was just speaking to tell you, I saw the movie that Oprah made. Okay?
Yes, sir. We talked about that last. Yeah, it was
Selma.
Before seeing it.
It is okay. All right, so Darren, give me a call. All right, so we got any more to do?
No, that's good. Let me see. Well, one more call, if you don't mind.
No.
All right, I want to thank you for that. 347, y'all on the air. Are you there, 347?
Brother Dick Gregory, Brother Ron. Thank you.
My brother. Who is this?
Show, sharing information.
Wait, who is this?
Leroy.
Oh, Black Man. Black Man. You know what you do to me, Leroy? You know what you do to me, man? You will call me, and I don't take my phone book with me, because I don't want everybody to steal it and get all y'all's numbers.
Yes, sir.
So anytime you call me, leave the phone number.
Yes,
and that's
sir.
why I couldn't get back to you in the last couple of days, because I got some stuff to talk to you about in New York, man.
Well, listen, I just wanted to add to the information that you were sharing about that space elevator.
Yes.
Because anyone who wants to go behind or not go behind you, but utilize the opportunity, they can go into Google and put in space elevator. There's a lot of information coming out now about this space elevator.
Yes. Yes. Well, see, that's what I was telling this St. Louis punk. There's so many people out here with information, and those are people that I call. I call. Because I know you know, and we ain't going to play with one another, huh? I know you know. What was the woman from St. Louis, man? One of the greatest stories I ever heard. What was the woman from St. Louis that you interviewed?
You're talking about the lady who tracked down the uranium being placed around the community?
Yes, the white woman. Yes.
The Caucasian lady, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 And let me just say something, because I got to talk to you tonight. Listen to this. You know why white folks have an advantage on not being scared? You're scared of me, but you know why I'm not scared of you? I got aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces is whiter than the whitest white person you ever met, and that's in Russia. So we grew up seeing people whiter than white folks. White folks never grew up seeing people black. Now, until we get into the research and understand that instead of just talking about we can change this, they ain't never seen a black person but my mama acting like Beulah. We've always seen white folks whiter than white because it's in my family, okay? So why would I be scared of white? They never had that advantage, okay? And so when you take a white cop, any white man with all the privileges you can have in America, you got to be some kind of stupid to inspire to be a cop unless your father was a cop, his father was a cop, huh? Why would you want to be a cop, huh? That's a good job for me because I get benefits, I get this. But for a white boy who could be president of the United States, when I see a white woman waiting tables, I say, what's a whole lot of white going to waste, huh? And so that's what it's about. Being a cop is a bad job. Now, let me tell you something. They talk about black-on-black crime. You know what they don't talk about? What? More cops die every year from suicide than killed in the line of duty. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? Mm-hmm. More, 90% of cops that get shot, it's by their own gun. All right, take it from them, right? Now, here's this. Police is the number one suicide occupation in America. You know who their second wives are? Whores, prostitutes. Now, you know why? You know why? The police was invented by the Egyptians. That's bull. Was invented by the Nubians. The Egyptians get credit for everything because they the lightest African on the continent of Africa. They didn't build no pyramid. The pyramid was built 6,000 years before there was an Egyptian on the planet, okay? Now, let me tell you what they did. They said they invented the cops. It's called conscience on patrol, okay? Conscience. You know what color your conscience is? It's blue. Okay? Red, call it the red light district, because red represents horse, the red light district, huh? You take a woman and open up her leg, that's red, okay? That's why it's called the red light district. When Hoover sent that prostitute out to sit Dillinger up so they could kill him, she was called a woman in red, okay? Right. All right? Now watch this now. So what the Nubians said, conscience on patrol. Have y'all ever been driving and look through your rearview mirror and it's a cab but look like a police car and you slow up? That's the conscience on patrol, okay? Then the white folk came in and got it and called it constable on patrol. See how it works?
All right.
Now, let me tell you how tricky this is. They call men in blue. One of the women on police department. Men in blue. Now, let me tell you something real low down. You got to get way up to deal with this. Every city on this planet Earth. What did I say just now? Everyone?
Every city.
All city cops' uniform have to be blue, or they'll come and shut that town down. The real people. Not you chumps out here. White ain't a color, it's an attitude. And if you ain't got trillions of dollars, you can't have the attitude. Okay? All right? Now watch this now. Okay? Did you hear what I just said? All city cops all over the world, if you're Muslim, atheist, whatever, you better not have a city cop that's uniformed not blue. Now, state troopers, they color can be anything, huh? County cops can be anything. Now y'all see how big this thing is y'all trying to mess around with, huh? I'm going to say this again. All city cops on this planet uniform have to be blue. And if they're not, they'll shut it down. Okay? That's what this is about. Okay? A whole system that was put together a long time ago with codes and codes and codes. Okay? And so then again, now why are the cops so crazy? They ain't born crazy. You know what is so crazy?
Why?
If any of y'all listen to me had wallpaper on the wall with lead paint in it, okay? There's a possibility your children end up with lead poisoning, right? So what do you think happens to a cop that walks around with lead bullets wrapped around his belly? 8 to 10 weeks. It's crazy. The lead ran away. I know this, but the head of the police benevolent that always wanted to defend cops because of how bad they killed me, but they haven't gave them the research to say, hey, let me come in and bring you a check. You know how many billions of dollars they have to reach back and pay cops, huh? Because of this. And they've been knowing this. I'm going to say this again. Lead around your belt. That's why the old cowboys, y'all ever heard the word gunslinger?
Right.
That's because the gun sling down off their body so it wouldn't touch them. You ever heard of the dead eye? You got to be a dead eye shot.
Right.
Why? Because you couldn't carry no bullets with you because the lead would get in your body. Okay. That's what this is about, huh? And they don't know that. Okay. They ain't not committing suicide because they want. Well, they talk about black on black crime. What about police killing themselves? How come nobody want to deal with that, huh? And so I'm saying there's so much information out here. Most of it you don't put out because you discredit yourself. Oh, the government would give me stuff to put out, knowing I'm talking to some folks that couldn't even handle it. Couldn't even handle it. I paid $2 million to research mother's milk. Did you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I wanted to pay $1 million to Steve bring me in the #1 authority on mother's milk. Tell him I'll give him $1 million. He called me up laughing. I said, what's wrong? He said, well, there's two people that's equally authority. I said, well, bring them both in. I'll give them $1 million apiece. Okay? So I bring them in, took them to a black hospital in New Orleans. Flint Goodrich. And they was asking me, why are you paying us this much money? Why are you paying us this much money to breast milk? I said, I don't know. If I knew that, I wouldn't pay you. I'd do it myself. So after the 2 weeks was over, let me tell you what I learned. Any of you men ever watch a woman nurse a baby? And any of you women that's nursing a baby, do you know if you're nursing it on the right breast, the left breast leaks? Y'all aware of that? That's not milk coming out. That's poison. That's how fast the universe works. If you worked in a bar or a nightclub or you smoke or someone in the house smoke or prescription medicine, ain't none of that no good. The universe leaks that out so the baby can't get it, okay? Now when they get ready to leave, I told them what I'm looking for. And until I spend all my money and can get another big car and spend it again, I don't need it, huh? Let me tell you. I said, here's what I'm looking for. If my mamas, every time I say that, you count. With my mamas, 1, mamas,
2,
mamas,
3,
mamas,
4,
mamas,
5,
mamas,
6,
mamas,
7,
mamas,
8.
If my mama was the nanny for white babies, I'm trying to find out how many generations will it take of you drinking from that black pity before you become a Negro. That's what I was looking for, okay?
Yes, sir.
And had the money. Don't have to get no permission from nobody. Don't have to argue with nobody if it's right or wrong. I care. I got the facts there. We over?
I'll ask you one more thing because somebody brought it up, and I'll let you go. I appreciate you spending this time because I know the situation. George Steeney was exonerated. George Steeney Jr. Are you familiar with that person?
The name.
He was put to death by the state of South Carolina back in June of 1944. He was just 14 years old.
Right, yeah.
And they just exonerated him yesterday, the state of South Carolina.
I know. Yeah.
And that's kind of been under the rug, and somebody brought it up. They doing all this stuff as well to distract folks from the fact that people are fighting back against the murder of black people in the system. White supremacy.
Well, when was he killed?
1944.
And they just not take a long time to fight back, don't it?
Right. It does never take a long time.
No. That's the family. The family. I don't know how you can feel good about it, but they did it, and that's anyway. Call Lil, and I told you Lil.
Yeah, don't worry. I got you. I just want to thank you for spending this extra time. You didn't have to do this. I was trying to get you off the air. Not because I didn't want you on the air, but because, I appreciate you for doing what you're doing and keep on doing it and believing in it.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thanks for putting me back in my place.
No, I didn't mean to do that. It's already out there now. It's already out there now. Soon when I hang up, I'm calling Martin Luther King III and tell him what happened tonight. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Because I know somebody's going to call me. Some people going to hang up believing it. Huh? And I'm not saying, is it true or not? No, I know.
I know
Hoover hated him because, because Hoover was in love with him. Huh?
Okay, that's but I want to thank you, though. Yeah.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
That's how Creaky, and we all knew Hoover was a Negro.
Right, I know that definitely. Yeah, it's true. Yes.
Born in Mississippi, and every Negro he had terrorized. If you mention this, all y'all gonna die. Thank you, babe.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Love you too.
Black man, New York, owe me a call.
I'll tell Bro Leroy. I think he definitely gonna call you. I appreciate it, man.
My lady, owe me a call. My brother from Maryland, owe me a call tonight.
Brother Darren, Sabrina. Yeah. Right.
Thank you, babe.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Yes, sir.
Can't